What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course After Chat. We're going to be diving in here, answering your questions live. So queue up in the Discord if you're new here. We take your questions first. But today's special show, we're going to ask all our experts on the Discord and people in the YouTube chat, what do you bring on your amateur radio adventures? Kind of in the same vein of the last show. The tools, the accessories, the things you can't live without. Your S-beaners, your tomato wire, your icon toolkit. So that's what I want to hear, your favorite little item. Would love to hear it. Be ready. Here we go. Oh, is my audio screwed up? Nice. Appreciate it. We'll get it. We'll get it in there, bud. I promise. One day. This ADHD life is saying Adderall cracks me up. The triumphant return of Techno Plague Doctor Josh has come. Finally, I can now use my space lenses with a proper hat. So that's what we're doing today. This is the Techno Plague Doctor. Get Cyberpunk Gandalf. my spirit pressure is off the charts right now. I can't drink this wine though. It's like oh. That beekeeper. That's the winner. That's the winner right there, folks. That's the absolute winner. These things are great, but like, yes, it's got major Marty McFly vibes, but I gotta clean the lenses. They're all screwed up. That's funny, dude. Darth Beekeeper. Marty, we gotta go back, Marty. To the future. All right. So the name of the game is we answer your questions live. That's the whole reason we're out here. We're gonna have all kinds of fun along the way, going into all kinds of different tangents, but really, it's all fueled on answering your questions to help you out. So join us on the Discord, but if you can't and you're on the YouTube chat or Twitch or however you're seeing this right now, just make sure you're putting an @Ham Radio Crash Course or question in your comment, right? And then I'll see it as we get started. It'll make sense as we get into it, but first, let's go ahead and join the Discord because we start out there with all of our friends on the Discord. So let's join them now. Oh, I got a number of people that had commented me. I will get back to tectonics. That's a good question for later. Oh. The Adam Savage connections are rolling in here. I would fly up and do anything to hang out. All right. Am I in? Hello.
As well for a few seconds at a time.
Okay. That was wild. Couldn't hear anything from anybody. You there?
Hello, Josh.
Yeah, we're here.
Do you know how rarely I've joined the after chat and no one's talking?
Very rarely.
I thought my computer was broken, so I'm glad it's all working. How's everybody doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Doing great.
Jody's.
We're doing okay. I have a special guest with me in studio tonight, Josh.
Okay, who is it?
It's my friend Steve. He is not a ham yet, but he absolutely loves everything radio related. He does have my second pair of headphones on, but I don't know how well the microphone will pick him up. But Steve, say hi.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, picked him up great. So first question, what's your problem? Why don't you have your ham radio license yet? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be that kind of guy. I'm not going to be that guy.
About 10, 15 years ago, I tried and I failed by, 2 questions away from passing. So I'm like, I don't know.
You can get it. Now you
He's still
test
studying.
online. You test online now. It's easy.
I do.
Yeah, so he's in here, and he's going to be here for a little bit.
Right on. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, so the way this works is we're here in the Discord live. how this works, if you scroll down on Discord, like all the way down, there's a hashtag live-stream, and then just below that, hashtag live-stream/afterchat. The afterchat is the voice chat. When you join the Discord, make sure you set a microphone and speaker. Headphones is preferred, and then bind a keyboard key to the PTT button, just like a repeater. You got to hold that down to talk, right? So what we do, we come out swinging. We go straight to people who are here for the first time, brand new Discord people. We love to talk to you first. We love to answer questions of new people to get them on the air. That's our goal. So who's here for the first time that would just like to say hi? We just take that too. Hey, if you want to come say hi, we welcome you. We're glad you joined us. First timers that would like to say hi or ask a question. Priority boarding for first timers right now. So who fits that bill? Anybody that wants to say hi or ask a question, go ahead.
This is Josh. Can anybody hear me? Josh, KE9ABT.
Well, there can only be one Josh in these parts here, Pilgrim. So let's go ahead and answer your question. No, I'm just kidding. Come on, what's your question? We hear you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. I just bought a new radio today, so I am very excited. It's an ICOM 703 Plus. But my question is not to do with that. My question is, I've done a couple of transformers. I'm fairly new. I'm about a year into the hobby. I've wound a couple of my own transformers, and my question is about 9-to-1s. I know there's a tri-filler winding that I see most of the time, but I've also seen on like switchable transformers where people do 9, 16, all the different to ones, where people will just do like 2 on the primary and 7 or so, or I can't remember the number now, but or maybe 6 on the secondary. And I was just wondering what the difference in those 2 would be.
I have the antenna wizard in the house. Is Adam K6ARK on microphone? Did he hear that question?
I sure hope he is, because I just ordered one of his kits.
He unmuted, so let's hear from the wizard. Maybe not. I saw him unmute, and then he went back on mute. There he is. Are you there, Adam?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
I am in traffic on the 405 right now. But
I am sorry.
Yeah, I know, right? I honestly don't know the answer to it, other than I would say if you have a similar number of primary and secondary turns, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. And generally speaking, if you are trying to run lower bands, then you're probably going to want more overall turns in your ratio. Your ratio is going to be the same for a 9-to-1. But you're going to want more overall turns for lower bands. So yeah, that would be my feedback. If you really wanted to get creative and do some testing, you could build some and test them efficiency-wise and see if there's a different from that perspective. But functionally, they should work pretty much the same.
Roger that. Well, that answers the question from the expert. So I think that'll do it. I might do some testing. I have a Nano VNA, and I've seen some videos from I think the Coffee and Ham Radios guys about using them. But I can look into that some more. So I appreciate that, and glad to make a first time appearance on the Discord. I tried to get in last week, but it got too late. I live in Indianapolis, so it's we're on Eastern time, and I was just too tired. So back to you guys.
Thanks for sticking to it and getting in early. That's awesome. And thank you, Adam, for answering the question. That was good. As always, you can build this up to try it, right? So you can take some turns off, add some turns. The final turns would be a little bit easier, of course. But, you could play around with it. That's kind of fun. I would love it. So, Josh, this is a question for you, or some homework, I guess. If you do some testing, come back to an after chat and tell us what your findings are. We would love to hear about that, to catch up with everybody what you found. I think that'd be really valuable to everybody. All right.
Roger that. I will. I'll do the homework and see what I can come up with. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
I've got 2 comments. One, make a 49-to-1 and a 9-to-1. And the second one is he probably needs to go see that guy from Great Britain, and I can't remember his call, but he's kind of like the British version of Adam.
Callum, you mean?
Callum?
Not Callum, the guy that does the toroid stuff.
M0FX something, I believe. I have watched a lot of his videos. I have made a 49-1 and a 9-1 with that core that he recommends. But I've seen the tri-filler. I think I've seen videos from Ape specifically on that. It's like 3 wires all wound together, and then you kind of twist some at the end. But then I've also seen some where people just do a couple on the primary and then a few, whatever the ratio is, I can't remember, on the secondary. So I was just wondering what the difference between those two were. But yeah, I love that guy's videos. I immediately did a 49-1 after watching them. So I appreciate that comment.
So I do believe you're thinking of Andreas M0FXB.
Oh, Colin.
Oh, Colin. Okay.
Colin's an MM. He's Scotland.
Yeah, Scott. He's a Scotsman.
So one thing to note, if you really look at the schematic and what you're doing with that tri-filer winding, you're still making basically one lap around the toroid with, say, 7 turns, and then making a tap, and then making 2 more laps around the toroid with 7 turns each, for your secondary, and then ending the secondary winding. But the tri-filer winding still is essentially making the same thing. So it's functionally pretty much equivalent.
Okay.
It's kind of just a different means to the end, a different way to put all those windings on at once, as opposed to in multiple laps around the toroid.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Now, so Josh, going back to the comment about Ape, comment on his videos. I have a direct pipeline to the Ape if I need to speak with him. But he's on Discord. If you go to Toads, he's on Discord. You can DM him. I can't imagine he wouldn't reply to a question or two that you had. So I would give that a shot.
Josh, is that the banana phone that you use?
I do use the banana phone often
to get to Ape.
Yes. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get it. Hold on.
Don't you have to do that through his emissary?
Yeah. So this is the banana phone. It's the Ape phone. So I let the battery die, so I don't know if he'll respond immediately. But let's see if it turns on. Oh, it does. It powered on. So you can see that little indicator light. This is the Ape phone. This is how I contact him. Of course, every time I speak with him, there has to be an exchange of Miller Lite. So I do have to send Miller Lite immediately. That's the only way he speaks to us mere mortals. But yeah, so yes.
That through Uber.
What was that? There's too many people talking.
I just said I appreciate it. I will reach out to Ape on Toads. I'm on that Discord as well, so I think I will do that. I appreciate it.
I didn't realize it gave you Morse code if the Bluetooth isn't connected to something. Anyway. By the way, this is a Bluetooth speaker mic for a phone. So you can make a phone call and then you hold this to your head and this is how you conduct the phone call. I haven't had the audacity to do it, but now that I have a solar hat, this might become part of my standard EDC mic.
I was just gonna say, dude, imagine I mean, you're LA boy. I totally could just picture you walking down the streets of whatever arbitrary LA street is out there, Hollywood Boulevard, I don't know, with your solar powered hat and your banana phone, talking to the smoking ape about torids.
Comment?
I believe that given any technical topic that I could talk to Ape about on the phone while holding the banana phone and the solar hat, I could get a required 72-hour vacation to a certain place where they will study me. I'm pretty sure that if I was just happened upon on the street talking about toroids at length with somebody like the smoking ape, that could happen.
I don't think people would even give you a second look in Hollywood.
Not
in
at
Hollywood,
all.
probably not, but around my town, they would. Yeah, we're a little close to the OC, so it bleeds over a little bit.
Change the FT8 hoodie to a solar hoodie.
A solar hoodie. Not bad. All right. So who's next on the Discord who wants to say hi? First timers who wants to say hi or ask a question, come now.
Hey, Josh, this is Ben. Can you hear me?
I saw the K7 station. Go ahead, K7, and then we'll come back to the others. So you go first.
Hey, Josh, this is Ben, K7KUO. I'm a newly extra, but I actually don't know anything about this. So I've been listening to your channel for a while. I have a question for you. So I have used, I'm currently running a BTech UV Pro.
Nice.
With the signal stick that one of your video recommend. I'm using a 2 meters, 70 centimeters signal stick. I'm trying to reach my local repeater. I'm following the repeater book with everything on it, including the CTCSS and offset. However, I'm not getting a courtesy feedback from my HT.
Okay. How far away is the repeater from you as the crow flies?
According to the repeater book, it's saying about 4 miles. But then when I'm at my work, it's about 2.5 miles. Both of them don't even reach anything.
Now, important question: have you heard people talking on this repeater before?
No, but when I do a frequency scan, I can hear other people from different frequencies.
Yeah, so it's entirely possible that repeater listing could be stale, and that repeater is not in operation. So that's point one. I don't know that's necessarily true, but that's something to consider. The second, every time you tested it, are you like inside a car or inside a home, or are you going outside to test? At that range,
I'm actually either a car or in a home, indoor.
I mean, it shouldn't matter at that range at 2 miles. How do you know? Is it like on a mountaintop or is it on the ground? Do you know where it's located?
No, all my information got it from repeater book, and then the repeater book is using my location for it. So it just tell me what's the distance.
Yeah. So some of the problems with repeater book, it's not really a problem. It's just the reality of it is sometimes it doesn't state like how high up the repeater is. So here in Southern California, you can generally bank on most repeaters are kind of like at a higher vantage point, so you can hit them even if you're at the ground level. It's entirely possible that this is just some dude's repeater that he has in his home, and he doesn't have a very high antenna. And you're just not hitting it. But at 2 miles is really not that far. You should be able to do it. Is it a 2 meter or 70 centimeter repeater?
I haven't checked. I'm just following by the repeater book. But my work's at Riverside, and the closest repeater on the repeater book it's 2.6 miles away.
So you're in Riverside. What's the repeater? Do you know the call sign?
If you could give me a minute, I could probably take a look at it.
Yeah. Pull up give me the name of it, and then we'll pull it up live here and take a look at it. If you give me the call sign.
Give me a second.
Go ahead, comment.
I was going to ask the same question. Where are you? And then, if you're in Riverside, one repeater that I would definitely say you should put in there is the Keller Peak repeater, because that has excellent coverage of the Inland Empire and generally over Southern California. So if you look up Keller Peak, Keller Peak repeater, you should be able to find the info for that one.
And then to add to that, because I'm also local to you, to Riverside, I'm actually a little bit closer. All the Santiago Peak repeater locations you should hit no problem. I think there is one dead spot to Santiago, but I think it's well east of Corona. Most of the Santiago Peak ones are going to be fantastic for you. You'll be able to bang in there at high power. You'll be good. All right. Well, feel free to jump back in when you got the call sign, or if you at me on the Discord, like if you say at Hashnasi and then just put the call sign of the repeater, I'll pull it up and we can take a look at it. Or do you have it?
I think I got the call sign. It's W6WMT. I was trying to transmit, but then my Discord just keep crashing.
Okay. Okay. So you said whiskey 6, whiskey Mary Tango. Did I hear that right? W6WMT, is that right?
That's what I thought I heard too.
Okay.
Whiskey 6, Mary Whiskey Tango.
Okay. This is the wrong one. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Hold on. So, Whiskey 6, Whiskey Mary Tango. Oh, yeah. Here we go. It said no repeaters found. Whiskey 6.
Try Mary Whiskey Tango.
Mary Whiskey Tango. No. Whiskey 6.
Besides the repeater book, is there any other resources I can use?
No, that's the best. Well, let's just walk through it. So we're here. So let's just go ahead and do it. So we're in California. I know you're in Riverside. So if we go down, what county is that? Is that Riverside County? It is, right? Yeah, it's Riverside. So if we go to just Riverside County amateur radio repeaters, I don't even see that one listed. Are you sure you're on the right? There should be more here, actually. There's got to be more. But Riverside, you got a decent amount. You got FM, you got Echolink. Let's do. What's the best way to do this? Wait, how did you find this repeater? Just so I know.
I was using the repeater book because Riverside is where my work is at, and then when I was doing my break time, I just launched that, and based on my location, they gave me that repeater.
Oh, like on the phone?
Yeah, like a phone app.
Gotcha.
One thing to be cautious of with repeater book is that a lot of the repeaters are listed in there at locations that aren't accurate. People may list the city that it's in or that it provides coverage to, but it's not going to necessarily indicate where the repeater is actually located. And it's a little funky that way, and it can make it hard to find the ones that give good coverage of your area, especially when, there are a lot of smaller, less prominent, or even non-functional repeaters in your area. Because I'll bet when you search, within 25 or 50 miles of Riverside, you're going to find a massive list of repeaters.
Yeah. So I used the a repeater book search tool, and I just searched Riverside, California, and then this is the list. Guys, if you're curious how many repeaters are in California, this is just in and around the area of Riverside. This is going no further than 20 miles away, 24 miles. So there are that many repeaters. That's crazy. A ton of them are private. Yeah. So did you check the private, if it's open or private?
On the repeater book, it doesn't say anything on the app. So maybe I should use the desktop version then?
Well, what was it again? It was KM6 or K6M something? Kilo Whiskey 6? No.
Hey, Josh.
Josh, I posted it in chat. It's K6MWT, Mike Whiskey Tango.
K6MWT. It's not even on the list in Riverside, so I don't even see it here. K6.
It's actually, I'm looking out here, it's W6MWT.
Oh, W6. Is that my problem? W6MWT. I don't even see that either.
Oh, Mike N8YO found it. It's K6MWT, and it's Orange County, not Riverside.
Yeah, that's going to be different. Oh, somebody just dropped one of the hottest banger GIFs of all time. This is one of the worst movies. I tried to make everybody watch this. It is something Raging
If you're
Stallions.
talking about my link, Gentlemen Broncos.
Gentlemen Broncos. It's not a good movie, but all these side little quests that they do is amazing. Amazing.
It's. I did not know who wrote or directed that movie.
It's the
when
Napoleon
I saw it.
Dynamite guy. Yeah.
I felt so dumb after watching that movie. But now I quote it: "Surveillance does."
Surveillance does are the worst. I hate those. Okay.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because
so, okay.
he was using the mobile app and he said his GPS. Is that why it maybe showed him something outside his search box?
Are you on the west side of Riverside, like closer to Corona?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So you might be in the dead spot for Santiago. That might be what's happening. Because if you can't, so Santiago Peak has a ton of repeaters. I would recommend try other Santiago Peak repeaters and see if you can hit them, because usually Santiago Peak it's not a problem. It is a great little middle point between San Clemente down into San Diego and then up into the South Bay and also Riverside.
Does the 2 meter signal stick can go that far?
Oh yeah, you're not going that far, because if you think about it, right? So if the repeater is on a mountain and you're down here, and there's nothing in between you, this is all just open air that your signal's flying through. You could be 60 miles away and have an open air connection to that repeater, and you'll hit it. You will hit it if you got everything sorted out correctly. So the only thing is, do you have the repeater loaded correctly? Do you have your tones correct? You got that offset correct? All that stuff is vitally important to be able to make that communication happen.
Okay, I guess I'll try again, and then I'll probably update maybe next Saturday when you're doing the after chat again then.
Yeah, it's homework for you too. Let's give that a shot. Try another Santiago Peak repeater and see if you can hit it. And then if you can or you can't, right, then that's the way to go.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Is that BB's? Yeah. Is that BB's repeater? Is it 446640? I think that's BB's repeater. That's legit. That's all I gotta say about that.
So, Josh, I have a little bit of input here for this.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like, based on what I have seen online, it does look like he is in the Santiago dead zone of the western IE. So
I think that's what's going on. So that's a geographic dead zone. That's just a physical situation. So I would then go with Adam and say, yes, load Keller, get all the Keller Peak repeaters in there.
We'll do. We'll try again, and I'll bring you guys updates. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you, and hopefully we can get you going where you're going. At the same time, with that radio, can you? What I would do is load a whole bunch of repeaters and then just try them all out and record the ones that you can get the courtesy tone off of, and then just delete all the other ones. They're that simple. It'll take you 30 minutes to probably load like 10 repeaters, try them all out, and then just delete the ones that you can't hit make contact with.
Good point, because the BT UV Ultra Pro has the app, so I just input on the app and then we'll try it.
Yeah,
then.
I would literally. So the way I like to do, if I'm going to rag tune a repeater, sometimes I'll find myself in front of the TV on the couch or in the massage chair, like my thinking space, as I call it. I'll load up a bunch of repeaters, and if I can't make contact with that repeater from the massage chair, well, that's just dead to me. I'm just not going to do it, right? So load it all up in the place you're going to hang out, test all the repeaters, and the ones you can't hit, just go ahead and get rid of them. Yeah, massage chair.
We'll do. Can I reach to your repeater instead? I'm kidding.
I don't have a repeater. I'm not doing repeat. I'm not getting into that world. I'm not at that point yet. But yeah. So
no, that was K6UDA.
K6UDA had a repeater, but he was in Northern Cal. BB's repeater. It's so tough for me to recommend BB's repeater because it's kind of spicy. Spicy repeater. 446640 is BB's repeater. Yeah, that's it. Yep. KF6PHX is legit. It's not for the faint of heart. I don't know. Always have that one on when I got the family in the car. I'll just say that.
Yeah, that is definitely a spicy repeater.
Barrick. I've been on that repeater for years. I know a lot of those guys on that repeater. I don't talk a lot, but I listen. No, I know it's not. I know. Trust me. If BB's on there, ask about Josh. KI6NAZ. All right, go ahead, Frank.
Take your Discord off screen if you can. I sent you something that might be insightful.
Oh, it's spicy Discord. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah. You're totally right, Frank. Let's see. Oh, man. Corpse Lot, are you in the chat? Oh, wait, hold on. I don't want to show.
Yes, I am.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Very excited. I will I'll look forward to it. All right. We'll open it on the podcast. I don't know if you listen to it, but that's where all the mail goes. All right. Who's next? Anybody on the Discord first time like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
First timer with a question.
All right, Matt. It looks like something a lot other than Matt, but go ahead. You're in there. I hear you. Go for it.
All right. Hey, Josh, and everybody on the after chat. The name is Matt. Call signs KM4SAG here in Georgia. Long time watcher of Ham Radio Crash Course, and first time asking a question.
Okay.
So mainly, my thing is I've been a general since April of last year. I've been having a whole lot of fun. Doing parks on the air and just utilizing as much of the bands as I possibly can now.
Okay.
I've got a Yaesu 710 here at the house. I love it. It's been a workhorse. And I've got an 891 that I go out and do parks with and just field portable stuff. But now I'm kind of wanting to having a little bit more of a challenge. I'm thinking about getting a QRP rig.
Okay.
And looking at getting either a 705 or the new Yaesu QRP radio that's supposed to be coming out later this year.
Yeah. So,
and I've got I guess it's like a specific type of like use case.
Oh, excellent! I love it.
So lately I've been getting into a lot of 60 meter stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. I know it's kind of an oddity kind of thing. Not too many people really use it. I guess like in the grander scope of ham radio, I guess, because everybody's doing 20, 40, 80 and so.
Don's ears just picked up. He's
curious.
Listening now. Yeah. You got some 60 fans in here.
Great. So I guess my question is does the 705 do 60 meters? Because I know that
of course.
Unless you did a mod or something to some of the older ICOM radios, they weren't utilized. So I wasn't sure if the 705 or really any later models of ICOMs did 60 meters.
Yes. So the 705 does, of course. With that said, you're mentioning the new Yaesu. We're kind of at the point now that it's all a lot of wait and see, right? There's a lot of promise on that Yaesu radio, and I think we're all excited to see it and see what it's all about. So for everybody that's like, oh, I'm thinking about one of these full-featured, all-band, all-mode QRP radios, then you might want to wait at least until the Yaesu's out and then make your decision, right? Because you still got some really good options between the 705, the Elecraft line, heck, even getting a used 818, 817, right? Those are all still good radios, but keep that in mind, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the 817 to 818 were some too that I was considering. My main thing, I don't really consider myself like a Yaesu fanboy, but I've got more Yaesus than I do anything else. So I'm more used to that side, but I'm definitely open up to either 818 or 817, 818. Elecraft's a little too much out of my budget, but who knows? Maybe I'll pick something up for that too. But
comment.
But anyway,
you say that, but the Elecraft prices are not that different from a 705 at this point. For a KX2, for instance, they're not that different. And so let me ask you: are you going to go backpack portable? Are you going to put this all in a backpack and hike 5+ miles or anything like that?
Well, being down here, I'm in more of the southern part of Georgia, so there's not really a whole lot of places for me to kind of hike to, unless I go either up to central Georgia or up north. So
yeah,
more likely than not, it's really just going to be more of if I'm just going to be around and stuff, is just going out to just wooded areas and stuff have around here, because I pretty much live in the middle of the woods essentially. So.
Well,
it's just going to be.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But there's another comment in there too. Don't worry, we'll get you. I got to ask this follow-on question. Considering the radios you have now, why do you want the QRP radio?
I guess mainly, not for the fact of just alone that it's QRP, because what my 891, obviously I can just turn the power down, and
right.
I've got the QRP power. Mainly it's just for a lighter stuff to carry around, because I've had some I've had back surgeries and stuff like too,
Okay.
like in the past, and
Okay.
having a whole bunch of stuff just to carrying around, and just like with the radio, the antenna set up, and battery boxes and everything, all of that, just kind of weighs down a little bit. So having a little bit more lighter weight stuff all around kind of help out with that a little bit.
Okay, gotcha. Because you mentioned you're not really hiking with it, so QRP doesn't mean a whole lot. If you truly want to go lower weight, like truly low weight, there's plenty of really good options. The 705 is not like immediately a fantastic option in lower weight. I know that it's much lighter than the 891, but still, that's all something that you can think about when the new Yaesu comes out. The KX2 is going to be much lighter than all of them. It doesn't matter what the Yaesu comes in at. The KX2 is going to be lighter than all of them.
Right, I got
Gotcha. But good question. That was a good question.
Hey, Josh.
Well, hold on. All good there? Did you get a good answer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I did. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good one. I'll be hanging around.
Excellent. Who is the Hey Josh? Go ahead.
Oh, it was me. I was just maybe he checks out the 1 pound POTA challenge videos as a kind of concept, and some of the lighter radios. If that's what he's working with and want a little bit of a challenge.
I did that as a masochist. I wouldn't necessarily recommend a True STX for like comfort of operation. It's a fairly fussy radio from my point of view.
No, I get that, but just the concept of the smaller handheld portable QRP type radios.
Yeah, so somebody nailed it. Going back to my solar hat, you could do the 1 pound POTA challenge. You could call the solar hat a wearable, and then it doesn't factor into the 1 pound. And then you could just run the whole thing off the solar panel. There you go. There's the whole deal right there.
I had a comment for him.
Oh my God, are you running an air compressor in the background? What was that?
Oh, my Keurig machine. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, James.
The IC703 Plus is a great radio for QRP, and it has a built-in tuner, and it looks just like a 706 Mark II or whatever form factor, but it's not necessarily heavy. Mm-hmm. But it would definitely be cheaper than jumping right off into a 705 or KX or any of those others, and it is an excellent radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I just bought today, a 703 Plus, and I love it so far. It's a great radio, and it's lightweight, and the guy threw in the backpack. I got it all for $325.
$325? That's a great deal.
I know. I almost stole it from him.
Dude, yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
I think it's the going rate for just the radio. No perks, no nothing.
Yeah, that's good. Nicely done.
I have a comment too.
Go ahead, comment.
I just say the KX3 is such a great radio. I have one myself, and I use it for QRP. You can find them used for like $1,500, which is probably around the same rate as with the new 705, and it's just a really good radio. The tuner does like 10-1, I think. It's got a really good tuner in it as well.
Yeah.
The KX3 has a fantastic tuner. It also has roofing filters, which makes it a proper gun testing station. KX3 is fantastic.
Josh. And it has a great amplifier and a great, what is that, PX3 anyway, the pan adapter.
Is that Matt?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, what's up, buddy?
Not much. I just want to point out that there are several of us, I know of at least 3, that have picked KX3s up for between $600 and $800.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can find them. At this point, KX3 is getting a little old in the tooth, but it's still a really good radio because it has features that most of the even newer QRP radios do not have. Again, like those roofing filters.
And it's also SDR.
Well, yeah, most of the stuff's SDR now, but it's a good radio.
One of the best performing receivers, bar none. It is absolutely a world-class receiver.
Yeah, if you go to the Sherwood report and you look up the top 10, radios, the KX3 is pretty high up there. KX2 is pretty closely behind as well. Very good radios, fantastic receivers. There's people who they're not even hams, and they buy a KX2 or a KX3 for just shortwave radio listening, like when they're traveling or wherever they're going, and they do a great job.
Yeah, I got my KX3 as a kit. I mean, from Gigaparts it was used, but for $2,700, and it included the amplifier and the PX3.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And yeah, and I mean that I use that amplifier. That is one of the best amplifiers, 100-watt amplifiers that I have. Yeah,
I was gonna say if you got the 500 for that much money, like all in one, like that's great.
No, this is the 100, but I mean, and the 100 has, and I'm sure the 500 does too, but the 100 has the built-in tuner and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the tuner is an option too. So the one I bought just happened to have the tuner in it. So
there you go. Oh, we got pictures too. People dropping pictures of their KX3. Look at that. Poolside. Nothing better than radio and water. Am I right, kids? With the bubbles right next to next to the radio and the baseball mitt. I love it. That's great. All right.
Josh, I would, if I can one thought there, I was going to echo the KX3 comments, but you guys covered it. But one thing, sorry, I forgot the name of the gentleman asking the question, but he mentioned 60 meters, and my suggestion would just, I'm not one to discourage people from using QRP. I love, low power radios. However, when you start to get down to 40 meters and below, there's just a lot more noise on the band. So I would suggest trying to make the contacts you want to make with your current station set to say 5 or 10 or 15 watts, whatever you're planning to run with those radios, and just make sure it's possible before you commit to that, because if your focus is on those lower bands and shorter range contacts, it is going to be a bit harder than the higher bands will be on low power.
Yep, that's a good point, Adam. It's a really good point.
Hey Josh, that's a shot of the antenna that I built. That antenna cost me about $35 to build. It's basically stainless steel tubing and some brass plumbing fittings. And that's made out of 24-inch sections. So that whole thing packs down into a very, very small space, including the coil with a telescoping whip. And that I can work pretty much all the way up to from 20 meters through about 10 meters, no problem.
$30. Why so expensive?
Exactly. I sprung for the stainless. I sprung for stainless steel.
Good job, man. That's killer. Good job. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Love it. All right. Who else is in here? First timers would like to say hi or ask a question. Go ahead.
Question.
All right. I saw Tech Merc. I like it. Tech Mercenary. Here we go. We're gonna pay you to do our technical dirty work. Let's go.
Hey, I'll poke anything with a pole or. With
I'm gonna pay you to program. I'm gonna pay you to program firewalls and repeaters and access points. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make you work for that money.
I'm already a network engineer, so like most everybody else here. So
yeah, everybody here is a network engineer. That's true.
Yes.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Thanks for joining us.
Multi-time lurker, first-time commenter, and I was hoping for some help from the hive mind here about noise issues with my station. Been doing the noise hunt and turned off all my breakers and everything last night looking for stuff, and I tracked down two of my issues, one of which I kind of already knew I had. Mm-hmm. The one I knew I already had is my kid has got in the room next to my office where my station is at, he's got those LED RGB strip lights, which are just, pulse width modulation hash with their own built-in antenna.
Yep.
And the other one that caught me by surprise is I have an auxiliary window unit in my office that's a inverter-driven window unit that runs off a 220. It's like an 18,000 BTU air conditioner, and it wasn't even running. It's just when it's plugged in, I've got quite a few S units of noise off of it. And so I was looking for suggestions. Like, does anybody know if there's any, I've tried on the lights to do like some bypass capacitors on the output, tried to do some ferrites on the output and input into it. So dropped it down a little bit, but it hadn't cured it enough. Are there any solutions out there for that? As far as like even replacing them, I was thinking maybe the the LEDs that had the individual addressable lights within them. Maybe they wouldn't use the pulse width modulation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so the first one is the air conditioner. Let's talk about that. So sometimes I've found with some of the devices that we put in our homes, they don't do very good grounding. And so the first thing you want to do is actually, if you can, trace where the grounding wire goes on that air conditioner. Like, you might have to actually open up the air conditioner to like look at it and figure out where the wires go. But I've seen like painted panels, like the chassis of the device that's fully painted, and they'll just put like a ring terminal on the end of the screw and bolt it down with no serration washer or anything like that, serrated washer on that or anything like that to make a connection to the chassis or anything at all that is connected to the ground of that unit. So it's just this floating thing that, yeah, I don't know what's causing the, when not in use, creating the RFI, but that's one thing I would do. I would check that. As far as LEDs, dimmers are the problem. So if you can remove dimmers, usually that's the pulse width modulation power supplies, is that's what's controlling the dimming. And you can go to just a direct, like, proper power supply for the LEDs. I don't know what exactly that looks like. I actually don't know how you do that now that I think about that. If you're not using... Somebody in the chat's going to have to help out on that one. That one's...
Yeah, they have those LEDs where they're actually individually addressable with a data bus, and they do the color and everything like internally, instead of having the RG and B buses that are driven by pulse width modulation. And so I didn't know if that may be a fix for it. I will have to check out your ground. That is a good point. I know that. Or your grounding suggestion for the air conditioner. I know that the ground for the plug should be good because I've just I had solar put on the house, and when they redid my load panel with grounding, so it should be good.
Yeah, I don't think it's your plugs or the home system. It's more the question of the device. Like, why is the device having such a problem? That's the thing you got to look into.
Yeah, I was just thinking it was because it was, while it was plugged in, maybe it was just its idle power supply, its switching power supply or something within it that was causing the noise. Doing a little bit of Google searching, there was a suggestion of a common mode filter on the line for the air conditioner, maybe a possible.
It is, but the common mode filter usually has to tap into the ground connection for where your power's coming from, and to the device's ground. It's usually going to connect to that. So you're going to have to do all those things. And the box that you can literally, if there's enough space on the inside, that filter will go into the box, and you can just take sheet metal screws basically and go through both holes on the box and the chassis covering, if you will, on the air conditioner. And so it'll sit on the inside, but you still have to make a good, like, remove the paint, serrated washer, that kind of thing, make a really solid nut and bolt connection to give you some kind of a chassis connection to the house ground. That's not necessarily going to remove the problem, but it's a great starting point, and they're relatively inexpensive. It's your time that you're really going to spend in putting that into the device more than anything.
Comment.
Blue something. Was that Blue Dog?
Big Blue Dog.
Big Blue Dog. There it is. All right. What's up, Rick?
Yeah. What about just isolating the power to your radio and its ground and your antenna's ground, and try to get away? Because a house has so many devices. Now, wouldn't it be easier that way?
All right. Wait. So what are you advocating for? Are you removing the ground from the AC series to the radio?
No. I'm saying to hell with the house. Just make sure your radio and your antenna, they have a direct ground, and isolate the power for your radio from the rest of the house system. So, you know, you're not getting the buzz from the house from being plugged into the house.
Well, so
you isolate.
Well, so let me tell you here. The house is an old '60s house, and most of the wiring in it is that old 2-conductor cloth Romex. So I don't actually have much of a ground on anything. The air conditioner has a ground. I've got ground at my panel, but it doesn't really go to many places. And then I have a separate ground actually for my station.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I think is happening. Considering where the RFI is coming from, the RFI is probably getting picked up by your antenna. So it doesn't matter if you're powering the radio off of a secondary power supply or a battery or solar system, whatever. Your antenna is picking it up. The interference is coming from the antenna, which is the feed system for the radio. So it doesn't matter where you put the power. It doesn't matter. You have to fix the RFI from the generator standpoint. Almost always. There's not a lot you can do to improve the radio side of it. You can put as many toroids as you want on the backside of your radio. It's not going to solve the problem. It is almost always solving the issue with the generator of the RFI, period. From my point of view, from all my experience in dealing with power line noise, device noise, all that stuff, it's almost always the device that's causing the problem. Better coax might make the problem worse, Paul. It might make it worse. It's not about, because again, the antenna is doing its job. The feed line is doing its job. The radio is doing its job. It is giving you the signal it's hearing. And if you have an RFI generator that's close in proximity to your antenna that's creating the noise, that noise is being appropriately picked up by the radio. So the only solution is that you fix the noise generator, almost always.
Or quit pulling your hair out and move the antenna.
That's another
might
option.
Be easier too.
That's another option. But a lot of these noise generators can get 100 feet away from the space that they are creating the RFI. So unless you got a home that's pretty big, you might not be able to move the antenna away from the noise generator.
Well, and I'm in suburban areas, so I don't have a lot of room to run, 100 foot away for an antenna. Yeah. And this is just first round of antenna. Like I was looking on 40 meters for the noise, but while I had everything off, I flipped the thing over to 80 meters. There was still noise that wasn't in my house. So I know this is going to be a long run of finding everything in the neighborhood sort of ordeal. But just for the moment, these two are my local ones I know I can go after.
So let's set the stage here, just so everybody talking here. 80 meters is a high noise band. So is 40. You already heard Adam talk about that. What is your noise floor on those bands, just so that we have a frame of reference?
With both of those devices at play, S9 or better.
Okay. So proper problem. Okay, yeah. So that's beyond what you would experience from atmospheric noise. So yeah, okay.
Right, and on 40, when I shut all the breakers off last night, I had S2, S3.
Oh, okay, then yes. Okay, good news, everybody. The noise is coming from inside your home. So here's what I would recommend, all right? So here's something that you can do. It's very inexpensive. You go buy one of those Wi-Fi plug dongles that you connect to your phone, and you plug it into your son's LEDs, you plug it into the air conditioner, you plug it into all these things. And you create an automation on your phone, and you click it, and it's a button that says radio time. And when you click it, it turns off all those devices, and then that will drop your noise. That's what you do. There you go.
Surprise, son. Dad needs to operate.
Yeah, your son does not need RGB to play Fortnite, okay? He does not need RGB.
Yes, he does, Josh.
Lars,
yes, he does.
No, he does not. He needs a good rig. He needs a good computer. He needs a low... Look, this... Okay. I will have this conversation with my children at some point. I will say, sons, what would you rather have? Would you rather have fiber with a very fast upload and download? Would you like a father who will literally build you a computer and will show you how to do it? Or do you want, like, stupid lighting that doesn't mean anything that's causing Daddy to have problems making his YouTube videos and having fun on radio. And yes, and also yes, pizza rolls. I'll give you pizza rolls too, right? So you got to balance this. This is not the swag that we're looking for, right?
Hey Josh, real quick.
Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
My friend is leaving for the evening. So I wanted him to say goodbye to you real quick because he's learned a little bit here so far tonight.
Well, excellent. Thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Of course. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, thank you. So KD7SWH says LEDs are awful. The LED is fantastic. Everybody loves an LED. You can't get mad at a diode. The problem is the power supply for the diode is the issue. The pulse width modulation is the issue. For a lot of people, they're having noise problems. That's what's causing it, is all of that. LEDs is not the problem. But if you took an LED bulb and you just shoved it into an incandescent fixture, if it can even handle that, it's just 100% on. And those bulbs are super bright. And so they got to knock down that power, and the way they have to do that is by a switching power supply that is quickly switching to dim it down, and they just change the oscillation that brings it dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. That's how they function. Lars, go ahead.
They also do something where to prevent people from getting sick because of the 60 hertz power cycling, they'll set the LEDs so that they flicker back with a I forget the terminology for it, but they lose the flicker, so they're constantly modulating the power back and forth so that they don't cause that. Some people are very sensitive to that flickering, so that a lot of them have that as well, which also causes a lot of RF.
Oh, yeah. Anytime something is going back and forth like that is going to create RFI. I'm dealing with that with some of my can lights that I have in the house, and I don't really know what to do with it right now, other than I just turn them off when I'm going to do HF. And I tell the kids, like, it's not fun time, it's daddy radio time. Shut all the lights off. I don't know what to do other than put incandescents back in or something, compact fluorescence, something. I don't know. I may have to go back to them. I don't know. All right. Who's
Candles,
here?
Josh. Candles.
What's that? Candles. Oil lamps. We're going to go back to whale oil. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to whale oil. That's the real solution.
The real issue, one of the real problems is when they start to put the actual current driver in the luminaire device itself. For instance, some of the LED bulbs where the actual driver and MOSFET are in the device, there's almost nothing you can do. And it's been a terrible fight here. There are lights. I will just turn off the outside light if I'm going to go work 40 meters or 80 meters. There's just nothing I can do.
Yeah, I'm at that point. Like there's multiple lights in my home that I've now hooked up to either Wi-Fi switches, or I'll go turn them off to do 40, to do whatever, because it's just, what are you going to do? Your buying options have now reduced to the point that you just can only get the LEDs that have the embedded power supplies on them. And then it's like, well, that's it. Like, you can't do much about that.
Yeah, it's a half kilowatt transmitter if you think about it. And I've even tried, I've pulled the cans apart. I've even used type 43, mix 43 and mix 31s in series to try and limit that. And it's not on the line. It's in the device itself. There's almost nothing you can do.
Yeah. All right. Who's here for the first time? Like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
I'm going for my test tomorrow.
James. All right. Going for the test tomorrow. Good luck to you, man. What else? You got a question for us?
No, that's it. Just wanted to say hi and tell you I'm going for my test.
Are you testing online?
No, I'm actually going to Cocoa in Florida to take the test at a library.
Excellent. All right. Well, good luck to you. I think you're ready. I think you can do nothing but pass. So there you go. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. All right. Anybody else here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Question.
Go ahead, question.
There's this thing that I would like to ask. How long does it take for my license to appear in the ULS?
How long does it take what to the ULS? Go ahead again.
The call sign.
Yes. So this is a new license for you, a brand new license?
Yes.
Did you test online or in person?
In person.
Okay. So in person is generally dictated on how quickly the people that took the test take those papers and send them to the FCC. It can take as long as 2 weeks, if not more, in some cases, on the rare exceptions. It generally takes about a week for them to be processed. If you test online, it's faster, generally.
Because I took the exam 7 in the afternoon, Thursday.
Okay. So, what you should do, did you collect any contact information from the VEs that were there for your test?
No.
Okay. Do you know the club that you took the test with?
It's at this Red Cross building.
No, but it was like a club. It was like some people that were that
There
were
was a
there.
website link with it.
Excellent. So, is there a way to email them on that link you have?
I think it might be on there.
Yeah, so you might want to email them and just say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I took this test at 7 p.m. on Thursday, and I'm just checking to see what the process is. When should I expect to see my call sign show up?
All right.
But at the same time, I don't think it's unreasonable. Somebody already said it. Tuesday or Wednesday of next week is probably reasonable that you might get an answer on the ULS website. So you might wait for that, right? Because you're going into a weekend, and a lot of this stuff is just not going to get done over the weekend unless it's automated. And then maybe next week, Wednesday, Tuesday, you'll have your new license.
It's also a holiday weekend as well.
That's true. MLK weekend, yeah. So Monday, a lot of the government facilities are closed.
All right, I'll check on those days next week. All right.
Cool. Right on. Well, thanks for the question. All right. Who else? Anybody in there like to say hi or ask a question? Come now. All right.
Logan.
Logan. We got a Logan. Go for it.
Currently practicing for my technician, and one question I have is there a best way to convince the rest of the family to look into it for emergency purposes?
I think the best way, actually, we have one of the best ways to do this is you merely have to show the news and the stories coming out of Asheville, North Carolina. Just talk about the advantages that came from being licensed and being able to use a radio effectively before the disaster hit in North Carolina. There are, I mean, you're talking about a repeater that was running at very low power at a very good location, but at low power that was feeding an entire multiple cities into Tennessee. That was helping to coordinate the emergency disaster response that affected Asheville. That's like, you have no better example of emergency preparedness in ham radio than looking at Asheville, North Carolina.
Comment? Which I have shown them, and this is mainly with Dad, but the thing is it's public. So I had the thought, but I doubt it's allowed. But a non-ham using WinLink.
Well, okay, hold on. Let's go back a step. So Grayman will come back to you in a second. What are his arguments against getting a license to start?
Against getting a license, being old and uninterested.
Well, the only way you foster interest is by finding something he is interested in and figuring out how radio ties into that. If there just isn't an existence of a thing that is interesting to him in radio, then you might be working too hard to make that happen. The age of the gentleman, though, I know is not acceptable because there are many hams that are pretty old in age, right? So that's not really the... In fact, it is more of an older person's hobby than anything, from my point of view at this point. So if he's just not interested in it, then it's kind of hard. Unless, like, what is he into? Like, what does he do for fun? Like, what's his hobbies?
Watches sports, basically. TV.
Watches sports. Okay. You know what? I don't got a lot of help on that one. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm not a sports guy.
Buy a GMRS license, get him a GMRS radio, and have him play around with that for a little while.
I mean, that's another point, is you can get your GMRS license, and it will include your father, your mother. They're all included in that license. That's a good starting point. But, you know, if they don't outgrow that, that's okay. You know, it's fine. If they're just like, GMRS is fine with us, and we can talk, and we're all connected, that's great. If they want to go a little bit further than that and get into some of the deeper stuff, then that's where amateur radio would get involved, right?
You watch auto racing?
Are you trying to cover? How far are you? How far apart are you guys? You know, what's the distance that you need to communicate over?
About 7.5 miles as the crow flies. We're both covered by a repeater.
Oh yeah, on okay. GMRS would be fine for that on Simplex, even probably.
It very well could be, and they're, depending on, you know, where you are, you very well may have a GMRS repeater in the area. So that's a very low barrier to entry, and gives you you know, a lot of that local communication functionality with you know, with no test. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have my GMRS. The main thing is he's not fond of it being public. Like, there's no...
So you've mentioned being public a couple of times. What does that mean? Like, elaborate on that.
Like there's no... It just, you broadcast. There's no encryption or anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's
which
just
I've
the way
explained
it is.
to him as... I've explained to him as kind of the point, but the main thing is he wants more like a private chat room.
Is he a big phone guy? Does he use the phone a lot?
Yeah.
Meshtastic might be the way to go then, because you can use full encryption on Meshtastic. You can set up a Meshtastic node network between you and him, and you'll be able to communicate to your family fully encrypted, and it's license free, no cost. Meshtastic. There you go.
I have looked a little bit into that. There's just no current nodes between us.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily need them. That's the point. Is if you both if you had a Meshtastic in your office, like, or your room or wherever you hang out, that connected to your phone, and then you had another one on the roof that was solar powered, and you did the same thing on your dad's place that was solar powered, and he had another one in his study, his office, or where he watches football, you'd all be meshed. 7 miles, you should be able to do. If it's line of sight, you should be able to do it without a problem. And you're talking about 4 nodes at $25 each is $100. That's not that big a deal. Like, that's actually not that bad to have a good, reliable, encrypted communication, capability. Not bad at all.
I guess it was just my understanding that the meshes only went 2 or 3 miles.
No.
And I guess part of that is from your videos.
Yeah, well, again, that's me going 6 miles away and having houses and trees and all kinds of stuff in between us, right? But so is it direct line of sight to your dad? Like, could you see his house from where you're at, or like what's between you? Trees? What's there? How other houses? What do you got?
A little bit of terrain, but trees, a couple schools, a Walmart, the big buildings in the way.
Okay. So if both of you put up the devil horns of like 30-foot mass that you put a Meshtastic with a solar node on it at 30 feet, and you use that to talk in the house to another mesh device, you'd probably be able to make that communication path. 30 feet's not that hard to be able to do with a mesh-tastic.
All right, thank you.
You got some options.
See if that worked for him.
Yeah, you got some options. I mean, at the same time, you already have your GMRS license. A 50-watt transmitter might be able to do that over a channel without any problem. But yeah, it's public. It's open. That's true.
And then just as a quick word to a recent conversation, no Fortnite. Go back to Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 is okay. I don't know. I'm a big Counter-Strike guy. I've always been. I like Apex Legends. It's tough, man. I don't know. I've already played Fortnite with the kid. I don't want to go into a whole tangent here, but my kids are the console kids. Like I've always looked down when I played first-person shooters and people were playing like with console controllers. I'm like, you can't compete with me. You can't even compete. You can't. And I play with them. I get grouped up with my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, who's 16 years younger, so she's way closer to like the cool kids age. And her and I on Fortnite are just her and her wife and I are just, we murder everybody. And then we bring my sons in, and they're okay. But man, I have not fully unleashed my first person shooter power upon them. They have not seen me actually go completely nuts yet. But yeah, maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I haven't played a game with them yet.
Bring back the originals. Use the gamer word to show these kids what's up.
What did you say?
Go back to the originals, use the gamer words, and show these kids what's up.
I will not use the gamer words. I will get banned from YouTube if I use them. No, but seriously, like we're talking about Unreal Tournament 99. 1999 Unreal Tournament was I was world champion. Could not be beat. There it is right there. They already knew where I was going because I've already talked about this before. I murdered everybody.
Were you around when high ping bastard meant something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was an LPB. I was low ping, man.
Oh, I see. Running a BBS, I was a high ping bastard always.
No, man. Low ping.
Yeah.
Whew. That's what you
5600.
want.
No.
Low
high
ping.
Well, yeah, okay. I get what
you want low ping to be good.
Yeah, because I was running 56K modems before most of the rest of anybody had 56K because of the BBS thing. And so this was back in the dial-up days, by the way. Mm-hmm. And Doom was big. And yeah, I would rape on that one because now every once in a while you come up with somebody else with a 56K modem, but not that often.
Oh man, I cannot tell you the times. I existed in a time where if we had professional gaming, I don't even know how much money I would have right now.
My first modem was 300 bauds and took a 9-volt battery.
Lars,
110 myself. I had a 110 baud modem.
Lars was about to say something. What are you going to say, man?
I was going to say I have a question when all the new people are done.
Okay. Anybody else, first timers that like to say hi or ask a question, come now.
I got a quick question.
Hunter, go ahead. Oh, with the fox avatar. Love it. Go ahead.
You may remember me from the chat a couple months ago when I was asking about starting a school club.
Okay, go ahead.
I ended up getting the admin to approve it, and we're starting the club very soon.
Nice.
Do you have any recommendations on how to pretty much gain interest with high school kids? Because I know it's more of an older hobby.
Fox
okay. So, do you have like a school ambassador, like a teacher or somebody that is into this with you, or are you that teacher?
So, right now I'm a 10th grade student. and we have a science teacher and the vice principal are our current advisors.
Okay. How? Okay. There's a couple ways to go on this. A couple things that come to mind. Somebody already mentioned fox hunts. Fun, great. Satellites, though, I think are going to be your bread and butter when it comes to space communications, particularly the ISS. All that, like if you can demonstrate making a contact with the digipeater through the ISS, that's really, really huge. How comfortable are you in all that?
I haven't done digital per se or satellite contact,
No,
but
this
I'd
is
be open to starting it.
It's not necessarily digital. It's just voice, but you're bouncing it off of the ISS, basically. Interesting. I've never really had to think about like just a complete like grassroots, nothing going. Like, what would you propose to get people interested? So the first thing is build a killer flyer, right? That talks about what you plan on doing. Do you have ideas of events and builds, projects that you plan on working on?
I've been thinking about doing a lot of the fox hunts, and our high school is pretty much next door to a park, so we could do parks on the air.
Okay. Nice.
Looking into it, our high school is also really rural, and I think MCOM would be a big thing with the high school.
Yeah. So, all right, those are like 3 flyers right off the top. Is like, what is this? Just explain, like, what is amateur radio to people. The second thing is like, what is a fox hunt? What is emergency communication? And you can use the example of Asheville, North Carolina, where they had no communication. They had to depend on over-the-air wireless communications, satellite communications. This is literally like sitting down and just like, let's make some flyers, get them posted around the school. Start talking about the club, advertise that you have a club that people can join, have a way that they can actually join. If they go to the office, there's some kind of thing they can sign up on, a clipboard with, a sheet that they can sign their name on, that kind of thing. It's a lot of this, like, if I make this and then what happens? So I make a flyer and I post it around the school. Then what happens? People will go to the office. Why do they go to the office? Well, because I put that on the flyer. So they go to the office, and then what do they expect when they get there? Someone's going to say, what is this radio thing? And then some lady in the office is going to go, oh, there's a clipboard for that. And there's a sheet that they can sign up on. And then every week you go take that sheet and you go contact them and you talk about, what you're going to do.
Comment.
You got to work through all that stuff. So go ahead, comment.
I would ask, do you have like a local school newspaper or an ag group? If it's rural, that might be a good place where you can also get some people that will help you organize, because organizing is a big part, and it seems like it's new to you. That might be some free help.
Yeah.
I have another comment.
So, does what I said help at all, or where are we at there? Are we on the same page, or?
I was just looking into exactly what I could do to foster interest. I think the satellites and the ISS are going to be really good, and fox hunts you don't necessarily need a license for, so that's a good start.
Yeah. So once you foster interest, where do you drive that interest to join the club, right?
I'm not really sure where I want to take this club. There's been a couple students interested to start it, but
I think you got to figure that out first before you start creating interest, right? I think you have to figure out where you're driving the interest to, right? So you want to create members for the club. I think that would probably be what you're talking about, right? So all those things that you created, like events and all this other stuff, you're driving it to people joining and becoming involved. You got to figure out that. I think you have to flesh out the bones, the skeleton that you've created, which is good for you. Kudos. Good job. If I didn't say that, good work. So now you got to flesh out what that means, right? So you're going to have weekly meetings or monthly meetings or whatever. And then this would be a situation where as you get more people in, this is where you kind of like give ideas and you let people either take your ideas and run with them or make their own ideas and start talking about like what's possible in the space and all that stuff. And you can kind of workshop like the directions you can go. That's a fantastic opportunity to kind of just get an idea of what they're interested in at that point. Once you get a couple of members, you'll be able to build on that.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Lars. We'll go Lars and then James.
I was going to say, if there's any other schools in the area or even in neighboring states that have similar clubs, it wouldn't be a bad idea to look that up and maybe even start kind of like a friendly little rivalry with another ham radio club that's run out of a school. And one, you can get ideas from how they're operating and what got them interested. And then also you can start saying like Parks on the Air, you know, we activated a number of parks. They only got this number of parks. We're going to try to beat their number of parks activated. You can kind of make it almost like a little competition. So there's ways to gain interest there. But I would look into other schools first, see how what drives them to get those programs off the ground, and then just try to go in that direction.
If you try to activate my park, I'll stab you.
I wouldn't go like.
Oh no, we're not going that way. Okay, sorry.
Don't
sorry.
go to Huntsville State Park in Huntsville, Texas, because I will stab you.
I will.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
am I?
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Grayman.
Actually, I have a couple. One.
Okay, you get one.
Probably,
I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, I'd probably have your advisor maybe reach out to Steve Goodgame from the.
That's not a bad idea either. Yeah.
Everton Herink, I can't say his last name, but Everton is the advisor in the New York City School District or city, and he is phenomenal. And he has helped build an awesome program there. There's also Drew from a school district in Pennsylvania. He's an assistant principal. So I would have your advisors reach out to them, and we can get contact information at least for Steve Goodgame. The other one is quick, easy, fast wins. As a Boy Scout leader, Josh, one
not
of
me,
the things
man.
that
I'm
the
not going to lead
kids
them boys.
that draw those in is quick, easy, fast things. A lot of the traditional ham radio stuff pushes kids away. So think about things that you could do to get them interested quickly. Meshtastic is one because they can use their cell phones and things like that, and they don't have to have licenses. It could be maybe building the kits, the hands-on, those kind of things interest kids big time. And then somebody had mentioned, like, think about radio sport. That's another thing that's kind of up and coming with a lot of kids and younger people is how can you make a competition out of it, a challenge to maybe do it internally, do it with other schools in your school district, maybe, or other neighboring school districts to kind of do something like that, where it's take advantage of some of the contests that they have for schools and just like today was North American QSO Party. How can your club, how many contacts, things like that, compared to the other schools in your area? So you could find fun activities like that and challenge the kids at the same time.
Antenna building.
That's another great one. Anytime you get a hands-on project, that they love it.
Imagine a school project like that taking over the football game. How freaking awesome would that be?
Okay. I don't know what you mean by taking over the football game. What does that mean?
Like in high school, like football, sports ball, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like kids actually doing scientific things. And people rooting for them. That was my point.
Okay. I see where you're going.
Another thing.
Root for the nerds.
I do like the let's talk to Steve K5ATA and see, what they think about all this. Like they probably have some good ideas.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, comment.
One of the things that I think of about high school is the hobby itself is kind of a building thing. You're always building a system. You're integrating two pieces of equipment together. You're building an antenna. You're using 3D printers. There's all kinds of building things. And that is one of the basically core elements of the 1,000 hobbies in the hobby of radios.
Okay.
So figure out a way to integrate building, like a 3D printer setup, so that you can build a what was the antenna that you always talk about, a doublet, or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did we help? Does that give you some direction to think about, Hunter?
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It kind of gave me an idea of where to take this a little bit.
I feel like you have literally all the options of things. Like, you can go in all kinds of different directions, and I think you could make hay everywhere you go. I think you just kind of have to coordinate, make sure you're coordinating with the advisors and showing them like what options are available to them, you know? Yeah. Give that a shot.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yep. All right, we're on JSA call, everybody. We're gonna blow this whole thing up. So get on JSA call. Let's kill it out there. All right. Who's next? Anybody? Because we're gonna turn this over. I gotta go to the restroom really quick too. But we're gonna turn this over to. I gotta get to the show topic at some point. Also, I gotta say hi to my YouTube friends. So anybody here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question? Go ahead.
I had a question about POTA.
I saw a. Is it another Joshua? Let's screw that up. Question about POTA. I heard that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Josim. Okay, got it. How do you say that? How do you say that name? So hold on. How do you say that name so I don't screw it up?
It's Jochem. I go by Joe from the Netherlands.
Okay. Joe or Jochem. Okay, got it.
Yeah. I was curious, how do you deal with RF noise in a POTA activation? I was doing an activation here in California earlier today. Really cool. I got to talk with some people in Japan, but I noticed every time a car drove by, my radio just kind of completely stopped and I heard their ignition noises. How do you deal with that kind of thing?
What kind of radio do you have and what's the antenna setup?
I have an FT891 that I was using with a buddy pole as well as an HT100.
How close was the antenna to the cars?
I have like 50 to 100 feet of coax, so it was
no. How close was the antenna to the cars?
Yeah, it was kind of next to all of them because I was sitting in my car with my battery on a parking lot.
You're cutting out a little bit. How close? Like in feet? How close?
50 feet or less.
Oh, 50 feet. Somebody said turn the noise blanker on. That might be a good option because you're literally probably hearing like spark plug noise and coil pack noise and all that stuff coming across. So you just may need to turn the noise blanker on. Did you try that?
I did, but I also am kind of new to HF and don't know how to use it correctly yet.
Did he say 991A?
891.
It's a Yaesu. Turn the RF gain down.
I don't know if that's necessarily the solution. I'm sitting here just listening to him explain what's going on. He's in a park and cars are passing by. He's picking up ignition noise, which I do all the time.
Noise blanker.
The question is, what's the solution?
Noise blanker. High impulse noise. It's very peaky. Noise blanker is designed to solve that.
If your radio is connected to the cause of the problem.
No, it doesn't matter. It's looking for high peaky noise. That's what it's trying to suppress.
Noise blanker is going to suppress or eliminate fast rise time impulse noise at the input of the radio.
So the right answer, of course, the easy answer is get further away. Put the antenna further away, because that spark plug, coil pack, all that interference that comes from vehicles or alternator noise, all that stuff, that super fast, high rise time, very low bandwidth noise that you can take out with a noise blanker. The problem with it is it will null that whole spot. So if it's right in the middle of your single sideband contact, you might hear a messed up audio chain of the person you're working with. It works though. It works. just move the antenna a lot of time. If you can do
I
that,
add,
you know,
really quick, because I do a lot of POTA activations in my car, and I experience a lot of this. Just a car drives by, you hear their ignition. I do feel I have the noise blanker on, but at the end of the day, you do just have to power through it. Like if you're going to hear noise, there's only so much you can mitigate. You just got to power through it.
You know, Mike, that is a fantastic point, because every filter you turn on, from my point of view, somebody prove me wrong, it takes away from the end audio quality that you're going to receive anyway.
100%.
And I would rather listen often with no filtering, no processing, and just listen to the raw audio and try and pull out that call sign than add a bunch of stuff on top of it to try to make this audio experience easier. Because again, when you're talking parks on the air, you're trying to make these far off contacts. You want to pull out those super quiet stations. And if you add a bunch of filtering on top of it, they're going to be underneath that filtering potentially, and you will never hear them. I'd rather remove all that and just live with it and figure out how to make that situation better. Move the antenna to make that situation better, and then make the contact that way, because you're always going to feel better if you just pulled it out and struggled to get it done at the end of the day. At the same time, if you're just dying underneath the noise of like frying eggs and bacon in your ears, you may need to move the antenna. You might need to figure out a better space for that. I think that might be the better option often.
I generally try to go find places that are very few people around, just to prevent having issues like that.
Right.
Well, another thing, when you're driving into a park, just look up. Look where the power lines are. We're all used to looking up because we want to see antennas on everyone's roof. So you just kind of be aware of your surroundings. Like, are there power lines here? Just in terms of noise floor. But generally, for me anyway, at my house, I'm looking at an S9 Plus on 40 right now. I go to a park, I'm S0. So
it's the best. I mean, that's why you go to a park. Imagine going to a park and you get S9 noise. That sucks. That's horrible. Unless you're in New York City. And New York City is where I experienced the most noise ever of any park of all time. No question.
Well, when we're talking like parks in terms of parks on the air,
right?
That's not necessarily like a wooded park. You know, that's like when you're in downtown Brooklyn, right?
Yeah,
with a whip in the air, right?
When I'm at the African burial memorial in like right next to Wall Street, it's all noise. Everything is noise.
Across the street from Walmart.
Yeah, well, not in New York.
I'm being facetious. Anyway, you go out in the woods, noise floor is 0. It's great.
Yes. So always the best answer is go to a park that's super quiet. I mean, that's going to be the best solution. Have your winter field day there too next week. Next week is winter field day. Oh my gosh, too fast already. Things are going too quickly. Does that help at all? Are we helping you? I don't know. Are we helping?
Yeah, that answered the question. Find a quieter part of the park or a quieter park in general and move the antenna farther away from the cars.
Yeah.
That also explains why in previous times I had a better time in this park.
Yeah, that's like the old doctor. Every time I do this, it hurts, and the doctor says, "Stop doing that."
Did we ask the simple question, or let me just say, make sure the car's engines are turned off?
Yes, yeah. Tell them to turn their vehicles off and coast by you when you're operating.
Not them, but just if you're with a bunch of people, maybe
okay, yes, Mike, yes, that's a good point. Turn all that stuff off. Get all that noise turned off. All those noise generators. You want all that off. And if you can move your station away from the noise generators, go in, even if it's geographically not better, like literally there you have like a concrete structure like 20 feet next to you, that's the noise level still going to be better down there. You're still going to make contacts, but the contacts are going to be people you can actually hear, right? It may limit you from an RF propagation standpoint, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be better from a radio operation point of view, if that makes sense. So think about that, though, right? The geography of where you're at, where the cars are, all that stuff. Move your station. Just do your best to get out of the way of all that noise. All right. I got to make a quick bathroom break. I'm going to do another. By the way, we're all on JSA call right now. If you go on there and you are using the @HRCC group, I'll show you really quickly how to do that. Go to File, Settings, and then under the Settings window, you want to make sure that call sign groups, you have @HRCC. So if you double-click on that, everybody that is transmitting on that group will hear you. Hi, all, like that. And I will be right back. I will let Frank, I don't know, jump in there and run things for a minute.
I got some fun stuff to talk about then.
Okay. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Okay. So today I had a nice little fun POTA activation, and Mike, you're going to love this one. I was up because North American QSO party was this weekend, right? You know, there's yesterday, whatever it was. People were all over the place. I couldn't find room. I got up to like 14,342 and went, okay, this is clear enough of a signal, right? Yeah. Well, I got there and someone, I don't know who it was, but someone was doing SSTV over me intentionally too. And I was still able to work people, but there was that, and then there was some sort of atmospheric noise or something, almost like over-the-air radar that just absolutely wiped everybody out. So it was a struggle, but I got 80-something contacts in the log right at UTC, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see, what was yeah, that was a lot of fun. And for the for Joe that was asking about the POTA, if you're still listening, yeah, find a quieter spot, or depending upon which park it is, a key point to take away too, move away from power lines, because they will, I have found that the power lines will hear the car noise long before you do, and that might become a problem.
Question?
Yeah, go for it.
My first time, since he was busy. I have this is more on GMRS. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
My wife's uncle, gave me a 2-meter Kenwood for us to travel with, to listen to on our way from California to here. So that's where I got I'm involved in. I don't have a license yet, but that's what I want to do, because he's been after me for years. But I have property up in Florida, up near the corner, northwest corner. My wife is in Pensacola, and my other daughter's near Eagland Air Force Base. So GMRS, they don't want to get a license for ham. I can get it for the family.
Yeah.
I want to put a repeater up. Now, can I how far will a repeater reach?
Depends upon where you put the repeaper.
It will be in between the 2 points at my house.
Okay, it'll be at the house. How high?
Well, as high as I can legally put an antenna. I'll put it up as high as I can get it. My farm property is the highest point in Escambia County. So I'm at the top of the county point, and they're near. I'm trying to make it sort of like a halfway point between as a family group. So you're looking at approximately 50 miles. That's an hour drive, pretty much, for each of us to get to each point. So it's so would the GMRS with the repeater reach 50 miles? I guess is a question.
As long as the antenna is up high enough, yeah, absolutely. As long as there's antenna height and not a lot of tall buildings in between the two, absolutely. You could get the repeater up, no problem. As long as it's on your property and you get the license for, you have license, because GMRS to a degree does have its own licensing.
Yeah.
If someone else wants to jump in.
Comment.
Oh,
Go
Josh
ahead.
is back. All right.
So
we're
many
talking
comments.
about GMRS repeaters.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is there an airport nearby where you want to put the antenna up? That's the only real one that I had there.
Well, the airport is not close. It's like 5 miles away.
That might be too close. How big of an airport?
It's Pensacola Airport. It's the only airport in the area.
Naval Air Station?
No, it's not naval. It's strictly a public airport.
Okay. The reason I asked that question is because 5 miles is the normal circle for airspace around most airports.
I will have to get a map then and draw a circle.
No, just go to an aviation like AirNav and then look up the airport and look about to how big a circle is around the airport. And are you in that?
Got it. Okay.
It's called a sectional, by the way.
Pardon?
The map is called a sectional if you want to.
I have to take my finger off my button here. Hold on here.
And I will say this, putting a repeater up won't be the issue. It's, depending upon how high you get it, you may have to get FAA approval, and I think that's what James was getting at there. You get FAA approval for a certain height if you're within a certain proximity of the airport.
Yeah,
otherwise, you can go up to 199 feet before you have to really go FAA.
Yeah, I figured that. It's just I'm not going to go that high. I would figure I would get myself the maximum power outage, which is 50 watts.
Yep.
And
why not? Why not 200 feet? Why limit yourself?
Well, because you got the money to buy it.
It's Part 95. It might be different.
That's just free.
I'm kidding.
So, and I'm trying to do this for the whole family. And basically, just a way of us to communicate back and forth that I have to use our stupid cell phones. And when the system goes down like it did in Tennessee, we can still communicate as a family. I have the ham radio, but I don't have a license yet, which is what I want to do. My purpose of the ham radio is so I'm under someplace or on my property someplace and they need to get help. I have a way of getting help.
Comment.
Yeah.
So you're going to put a repeater, which is going to require electricity. You're going to put it however high up, potentially 200 feet, but maybe not. You're going to get a generator for this repeater?
I already have a Generac.
Okay. And you're going to also have to, not just the airport, the commercial airport, but you will have to make sure that you're not going to interfere with any kind of military operations. Because if
frequency, yes, I know that.
Well,
no,
okay, GMRS. So GMRS frequencies won't interfere, generally speaking, with anything military or aircraft. That's why it's channelized out like that.
True, but having an antenna at 50 watts, it will be worthwhile to check, even if it turns out to be pointless, than to find out that after you've spent the time and money and energy, that they're going to come and knock on your door and have you take it down.
What is the question? I think I obviously missed the question. So what is the question?
Basically, I have family in 3 different locations. My house in Pensacola is in the middle. Okay. And my property is up near Atmore, Alabama.
Okay.
And so it's like 50 miles to my house. And then my other daughter lives in near Eglin Air Force Base where her husband works, which is like another 50 miles.
Okay.
So instead of using our phones back and forth to chat, or as they're traveling, they can communicate on the radio. If something happens as up in Tennessee, we could still chat and talk to each other because they would have the portable, I would have the base, there at the main house, and I have my portable. And so basically it's like a piggyback system to the family. That's pretty much what that comes out.
What town specifically? What town are you near in the Pensacola area?
We are in town Pensacola. We are right in town.
I'm kind of familiar with the area. I've been to Eglin a few times. I know it's on the water.
Okay, Eglin
is terrain between Pensacola and Atmore.
Right.
I'm not sure how many feet, but it's definitely not flat.
No, but if I have an antenna up high enough attached to the chimney and go up another 25 feet above the chimney. It's not real high, but it's high enough to get over most of the trees for line to line, or what do they call that? Eye to eye contact. My property up the hill. I'm at the highest point in the county, and I already got a tall antenna up there. All I got to do is stick the transmitter antenna on it.
It's not really a repeater if he's just using his own radio's antenna.
But I would want
Don't you want a repeater halfway between you and her?
Yes. So if I want to chat with my daughter, it's in Shalimar. I can chat with my daughter in Shalimar, and I'm up to the property. That makes sense?
Okay. So let's go back. 60 miles is a lot, right? That's the reality.
That was my question.
That's a real question that you're asking. So,
how far can I go with the GMRS?
You can go almost limitless line of sight to the curvature of the Earth if it's open line of sight. So, what is the line of sight between you and over these 60 miles? Have you done that check yet?
It's not physically, no. Yeah. I don't know how I can check that because I don't fly. There's out there where I'm heading my direction, there's mostly trees.
Yeah, so that's going to be a problem, right? So GMRS is going to be a problem. Well, GMRS would be a little bit better into the foliage a little bit, but the reality is like if you can't see the place that you're transmitting into, you're likely not going to have an easy time to go like 60 miles straight. If you're going 60 miles straight through a forest, it's not going to be a good time. All that RF is going to get absorbed. No, it's not going to make it.
The house across the street heading that direction is a house, and there's no trees.
Comment?
I'm talking about the 60-mile long jump you got to do.
That's mostly a road.
You're talking about it's a single road for 60 miles?
Double. Actually, it's a 4-lane road.
So you're on one side of the road, and you're going to transmit down that road 60 miles?
Thereabouts. I said 50, but close. It's about an hour drive.
And it's flat?
Most of it, yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm higher. I'm going downhill, so my property would be higher than what they are.
Okay. How much higher are we talking about?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. Probably 100 feet.
100 feet? More. Okay. So that's almost like you're on the top of a 100-foot mast at that point, right?
Yeah, I'm already at the highest point in the county.
Yeah, so that's great. That's good news. So what if, right?
And Pensacola is higher than Shalimar.
Right. So what if you had like a 50-foot mast that you put your antenna on for your radio, right? So now you're at 150 feet above the prominence of the people below you. That's actually really good, right? You're even going to be better off at that point. And then you being the center point for people to communicate through you is going to be even more effective. Makes sense.
That's what I'm trying to do. However, the center point's got to be my house in Pensacola.
Right. Oh, okay. Yes. Why is that a problem?
That's not a problem.
Oh, okay.
That's the question.
You just made a point of saying that, so I thought it might be a problem.
The house and the problem is the highest point is my property and farm property. Mm-hmm. And Pensacola's in the middle, and Shalimar is at the other end.
Okay.
So if I had a 50-watt antenna or radio, I could probably transmit the 50-watt to Shalimar.
Okay.
Because of my property being higher.
Sure.
But so they couldn't transmit back up because they're not going to go that level.
Well, but no, that's not true. So again, you're at the prominent spot, and you also put like a 50-foot mast up with an antenna, right? Mm-hmm, so you are at the prominence point. It works in both directions, from the low side to the high side and high side to the low side. The question really is just, will they run a 50-watt radio? A 50-watt radio is probably the only way you'd get this to work. And if it's just straight down the pipe of that 4-lane highway, then yeah, that could work. That could work for you.
Okay. That was basically the question. I didn't want to go spending the money on something and then not work.
One more comment.
But here's the reality is, like, we can't guarantee it, right?
I know.
There's no way I could guarantee you that you will not. You'll spend this money and then you won't make that run. Like, that's true. You might not be able to because of some stupid little tree limb or a couple of tree limbs that are along that 4-lane highway that you talked about earlier that just ended up attenuating that signal to the point that it just didn't make it, right? Like, I just don't know.
I get it.
Yeah. So what was the comment? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm going to step back in here. We have a repeater at my club in Oklahoma, and it has the highest antenna and the largest footprint. But in order for that footprint to be viable, the people at the edges of the footprint have to have a Yagi antenna to hit them at 50 watts. So that is another thing that I'm going to throw out there, that 50 miles is a very long haul, and that's for a 2-meter repeater to get that 100-mile footprint and do it legit. You're going to have a directional antenna at the homes, and really you're probably going to have to work at it a little bit to get the 50 miles. That's a long poke for GMRS.
Well, but remember, he's in the middle spot between multiple stations, hypothetically, so having a directional antenna is not going to work.
If I can make a suggestion, I'm an RF engineer professionally, so
yeah. All right, Steve, go
been involved with a lot of back in the day when we used to have to do repeater coordinations here in and around the tri-state area between New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, etc. What you may want to do is, instead of guessing, is go find somebody local who might be able to give you a hand doing an RF study. And there are a number of freeware tools. Radio Mobile is one that comes to mind immediately. I've used that one more often than not. And there's a couple of other online tools where, based on your height above average terrain and tower height, EIRP of your antenna, feed line loss, transmitter power, blah, 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 will allow you to make a very good predictive stab at what that RF contour is going to look like X number of miles out. And we use that to coordinate repeaters and ensure correct contours so that we don't have interference with adjacent or co-coordinated repeaters in the area. Back in the day, we used to have to actually coordinate them around here because we had so many whose inputs and outputs would be completely reciprocal of each other. So we had to be very careful on how we laid those out. But anyways, I might suggest that instead of guessing at it, is to actually go do an RF study, and it doesn't have to cost you anything. It's something that you could do with a lot of freeware tools online. It's not a hard thing to do.
You could also relatively easily just test between the 3 points, right? If you know that you can make simplex contact, direct contact from one site to where you would like to consider putting the repeater, and from the other site to that same potential repeater location, then you can at least kind of test those paths for GMRS and the power levels you're talking about. But I think one aspect that a lot of people who have not tried to build repeaters don't really realize is just how hard it is to build a really good repeater that is very sensitive and doesn't desense itself, and just works really well. So I would caution you in that respect, because it is very technically difficult. But at the same time, I think there could be some value in just testing those paths with simplex communications first.
Okay, so could you tell me the name of that? You said radio something?
Radio Mobile. Radio Mobile is the fellow. I think he's French. It's oh boy, what was his name? It's VE2DBE, I believe, is his name. And there's a lot of good tutorials online on how to use it, how to interpret the results. It uses USGS geological survey maps. It actually, it does the contouring, the whole 9 yards. It's a great piece of software. I won't go into it in depth here. It's beyond the scope of discussion. But I might suggest you find somebody who can assist you with that. Some other local hams who have gone through this or similar. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to lend their expertise on that.
And
I have a comment too.
That's probably the best way to attack that without guessing. Another thing too is if you're expecting to run RF down a narrow pathway, RF doesn't work that way. Propagation, ground conductivity doesn't work that way. I mean, the Fresnel zone alone would probably just eat 2/3 of your signal before it gets to the other end.
I will be getting myself to a club, so I will be having someone there help me probably do this.
That's the smartest thing that you could do.
I can't get to the clubs right now because they're usually on the same day. I got to go to my beekeeping meeting. Oh well. Thank you very much for your help, guys.
So I will say this: Greyman Poda just dropped a link to the DBE, and I tagged you for it, and Jody tagged you for another very fun tool to try and figure out line of sight stuff as well in the live stream chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also sent a link to an RF line of sight calculator. It sort of considers the contours and everything.
That's the same one Jody dropped.
So I'm going to ask a completely self-serving question. So hold on. How do I do this? I got to do something here. Hold on. Okay. Steve, you're an RF engineer, right?
I am.
Okay. Spurious emissions tests. Do you do that in your career or have done that?
Yeah, absolutely. Do mass contours and out of band, and making sure that whatever you're building or whatever you're putting together meets the FCC mask for whatever the mode is that you're testing for,
or the service or whatever, right?
Service, yeah, whatever it may be. Sure.
So what is the preferred way to do it, right? So is it an over-the-air test where you're in like an RF chamber that, works with the near-field, far-field stuff, or do you just coax to an attenuator to the transmitting device, or what's the way to do the test in the most effective way or the FCC-approved way?
It depends on what the test parameters are. Typically, if it's just the device, the device literally is bench tested on a specified test bed, which may be just literally device under test, coax, load, and there's a sample usually for spectrum analyzer or whatever your measuring system is, but. Typically, we're looking for the systems that I've worked on. It's looking if the device meets specifications. So, depending on the transmitter type, if it has to may need to meet a certain phase noise, AM to AM, AM to PM, whatever the criteria is. But we would be looking at the device, not. Very rarely have we ever taken like a unity gain or standard gain antenna, gone into an anechoic chamber and had to do, as a system. Although I've done it, very rarely does a test ever really call for that.
Right. So the reason I asked this is there's a video that got posted about showing how all these radios are spurious emitters. And the test was done using a spectrum analyzer receiving off a receiving antenna. And the transmitter had its own transmitting antenna. And they were within close range. And the HT was held down and was transmitting into the spectrum analyzer and was showing all these spurs. And so from my point of view, I think that's not really a
That's
good...
not a valid test.
No.
I mean, it might be hey, we should probably look at this, but the only valid test would be to take that device under test, put it on the bench in a test environment where it's connected to a load spectrum analyzer, and you do that measurement for the device itself.
But a proper coax connection with an attenuator to match the spectrum analyzer, the whole thing. You wouldn't just do it over the air, because you have close field reflections and all that you have to do.
You could be generating yourself in that receiver, or whether they're IMD products, whether you've got some mixed product from exactly. You don't know what that. It could be a world of hurt. As an example, we have, here in upstate New York, we have Mount Beacon, and there's several hundred transmit and several hundred receive entities at one time on that site. And I remember years ago doing some work up there where we had to identify, there was a transmitter that had some spurious stuff coming out, and we had to identify what it was, and it's impossible to do that over the air. If just the intermod run alone, those calculations, by the time you got to fourth or fifth order, it was 6 sheets of paper to try and come up with every combination. So it's something that you would have to literally sample right at the output of the transmitter itself.
Sure. So where this is all coming from is, does everybody know who I'm talking about? It's your radio Elmer on YouTube. Does everybody know who I'm talking about? Everybody know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, Josh.
I'm just gonna pull up the video.
I do as well, Josh.
Yeah, just give me his call sign. Let me pull this up. We're just gonna look at this live.
W6, is it W6?
LG.
W6LG. Yeah. So, I did a video on the H6 or whatever it is. I don't even know. And he almost immediately made a video testing multiples of these, but he did it.
Okay.
He did it over the air, and so that's my problem. Is that so literally, yes, he has a proper spectrum analyzer. And so let's take a listen here for a second.
Garbage. Here's another H3. Pressing the PTT button.
So this is an over-the-air test he's doing.
And again, garbage everywhere from the fundamental.
So I'm going to pause this for a second. Also, there's no indicator, there's no marker where the DB line is.
I don't know what DBFS is. I'm sorry, I don't know what the reference to what. Yeah,
right.
No.
I have a difficulty of saying. So we know the baseline where his noise floor is, but that doesn't really help us.
That doesn't do anything.
We know what his transmit fundamental frequency is, and we know what his even harmonics are coming off, or the odd harmonics coming off of it. But there's no line indicator of where it should be, because the FCC requirement is not just the harmonics against the fundamental frequency. It's also that marker that you use, that I have on my spectrum analyzer that I use, but also how close is he to the transmitting antenna, and what kind of odd reflections is he getting in his testing environment? He's just in his shack.
Debunking that test, but no.
Go ahead, Adam. You're going to say something?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Not just what reflections is he getting, but let's say you have a dual band antenna on your HT and a dual band antenna on your spectrum analyzer, your receiver. If that antenna has, each of those antennas has 3 dB of gain on the harmonic on, say, 70 centimeters, then you're already adding, 3 dB at the transmit and the receive end.
Right.
And on top of that, your radiation pattern is not omnidirectional, and it's going to be different for different frequencies. So you know, depending on the angle and the position and the direction that those are all pointing, you could come up with a whole bunch of different answers to that. So the point of the requirement is for the transmitter itself to be compliant to those limitations and to accurately measure that. Like was said, you have to eliminate those variables from the system.
Salute to Adam. You have to eliminate the variables, and there's way too many variables in this case of him being in the room, just transmitting. It's chaos. Comment, and then I'll come back to Steve.
Also, going back to a little bit of his time, this is the gentleman who was protesting to the ARRL to have these cheap radios banned. So he has a heavy bias.
Jim is an interesting person on YouTube. He seems to really dive in on some things and go really hardcore. I think he generally has good content that he puts out there, so I'm not going to take away his, the YouTube Elmer that, he deserves it. He seems like a radio operator that knows his stuff. No question. In this case, though, his testing practices, I think, are not acceptable for the statement he's making. So I'll go back to Steve, or Lars. Go ahead, jump in really quick, and then I'll go back to Steve.
Sorry, pardon my ignorance, but wouldn't that be something like a redshift where as the frequency's bouncing around, it's actually changing frequency based on what it's impacting and echoing around his shack?
Well, I mean, you literally see this black thing that's above, where the radio's at. Like you have no testing chamber that you're testing in, and you're within the close field of RF propagation. So reflections become everything, depending on what is in that space. If it was a far field test, that would be a different ball of wax entirely. But he's literally in the room with his spectrum analyzer, right? So I don't know, Steve. You want to dive in further on that, or what are your thoughts?
It's poor testing methodology. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't think you have enough time, nor is I think it in the scope of the audience to go through proper testing procedures using a spectrum analyzer, or even understanding basic spectrum analyzer, test setup and methodologies for analyzing stuff like this. But this is improper. Is it a quick is it a quick way to look at something and say, yeah, when I key this up, I see, third, fifth, seventh harmonic, that are falling in the passband of another receiver, causing intermod or descents or some other interference product? Sure, you can correlate the two, but when you actually go to identify the root cause or do performance testing, this is in no way anything that I would take seriously. You don't know what the load is of that antenna. You don't know what the terminating impedance is of the HT. I mean, it may make great spec into a 50 ohm resistive load and it runs fine. But you don't. That spectrum analyzer tells me that plot tells me absolutely zero.
Well, so that's actually a really interesting point. So I took the same radio and I had a coax connection into an attenuator into a spectrum analyzer, and I tested it, and it passed. It did not fail spurious emissions tests. So why over the air is he failing with all these spurs you're seeing versus me when I have a direct coaxial connection to attenuator where it seems fine? So why would that happen?
Oh, well, there's a number of things. You could be overloading the front end of the spectrum analyzer. We don't know what the reference level is of that analyzer.
You're talking about Jim in the open air transmit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So the actual analyzer itself, the actual test setup for that analyzer itself, is a complete unknown. There isn't enough there to really infer. Did he properly set the reference level? Is it properly being driven? Is it overdriven? If I look at that very quickly, it almost looks like the front end of that spec in is being overdriven.
Yeah. Attenuate. Somebody else is talking. Go ahead. Were you going to say something? Okay. Background noise. So, go ahead. Continue.
Long story short, I mean, it's without getting too deep into it. That's not a proper test methodology or a test procedure for doing this type of analysis. I wouldn't. That's not anything that I would take it with a grain of salt. It may be fine. And what's the resolution bandwidth? What's the span? What's his reference level? There's a whole bunch of questions there. So there's nothing there that tells me anything.
So is the preferred way literally coax into the transmitting unit into the spectrum analyzer with appropriate attenuation to be able to test for spurious emissions, or what do you do?
Oh yeah, if I were to do so I have a lab, I have a bench here, I have a lab here at home, and if I were to, if I do work on somebody's radio, I will test it before I take it off the bench. And yes, it's cabled into a RF tight load, which has the proper sample, impedance controlled sample that goes to a spectrum analyzer, and set a reference level. I know how wide I want to make that span to look at harmonics out to fifth or seventh harmonic, or whatever the bandwidth is for whatever spurious artifacts I'm looking for, set the proper reference level, key up, and then you may look for close-in noise, you may look for how far out, how far out do I want to go, looking for any other type of mix, generated product. But there's nothing else that I'm looking at other than the generated waveform that's coming out of that device under test. I don't have to worry about interference or mixed product or anything else. In my test setup, I know that what I'm looking at is that device into a controlled impedance that is properly connected to a piece of measurement gear. I know what I'm looking at. That's the whole idea of doing performance measurement.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Is this something, Steve, that you would recommend any amateur radio operator do? Or is this something that should be better left to somebody who knows what they're doing?
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, please.
Love it, Steve. I love it. Preach, brother. Preach.
Absolutely. Everybody should. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There are, back in the day, even in the 80s, there were projects that used to come up every now and then on how to turn a Verac, what was the Sony Varactor TV tuner, how to put it into how to create build a poor man's spectrum analyzer.
That's
out of
awesome.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, it was great stuff.
Yeah.
And spectrum analyzers are actually fairly inexpensive. Your VNA, I mean, to get a DANL of almost, a noise floor down to, minus 60 or minus 70, it's just unheard of 30 years ago in a sub $1,000 or $5,000 device. So the fact that you can get buy a VNA for a few $100 or even less, and you, with the proper attenuation and understanding the test, you could actually take a look at what your radio's doing over up to 3 gigahertz. Would I call it laboratory grade? No, but it'll give you a really good idea of the performance of your HD or your device.
Right, but I mean, you're not to the point that you can judge whether it should be sold or not, right?
Oh, you could make a very, the law, for amateur gear, it's been a long time since I've really actually had to do it in the amateur for amateur gear. But the law, the rules are pretty loose. It's not any. If you key up and you've got, if you're putting out your third harmonic is only 15 dB down from carrier, and it's or even your second or third harmonic is only a few dB down from carrier, you've got you've got spurious emission issues. You've got some other mixed product or something going on with that radio. It doesn't take a lot to realize that, hey, there's a problem with my HT or there's a problem with my transmitter. There are a number of books. Actually, the ARRL used to have they used to sell a really good book called, I think it was called RF Test and Measurement. It was actually a pretty good book, and it was geared to the radio amateur. It was geared towards amateur radio, and it had a lot of those. A lot of the tests that we do in the commercial world. It was all pretty much laid out with fairly inexpensive test procedures and gear that you could either build or acquire pretty inexpensively. But yeah, absolutely, you could make that determination pretty quickly.
All right.
Thanks, Steve.
Man, Steve, that was fantastic. Thank you for sharing that information. And I've always thought that, you need to have the direct connection, because once you add an antenna, you got 2 antennas in some kind of proximity. How do you even test? How do you even lay down the variables of the distance of the testing when you're talking about the frequency they're in, the room you're in? You have to be in an RF chamber if you're
exactly.
If you're
you can, but it would have to be in a very controlled environment.
Yeah,
right?
It's insane to even think that you can control that experiment. So that's why we go direct over coax with an attenuator, because we don't want to overload the front end of our signal or our spectrum analyzer, which is, I think, what happened with Jim's setup here, is that his SA was completely overloaded by the proximity he was to it. I think. That's my speculation.
It looks like the mixed diodes in the front are ringing, or something's happening there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But anyway, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Oh, comment. Go ahead.
First time caller, long time listener.
All right.
I just wanted to. I'm in the middle of Georgia here, KO4YMT.
All right.
Just a little bit north of where the fellow about an hour ago. I can't believe I'm still awake.
Well, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging on.
My head is about to burst with all the knowledge and pointy-headed stuff, as we would say here.
We're all cone heads out here. Welcome.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I started out with Mike earlier today. I was lucky enough to make a contact with him several months back and to show my parents just how cool it is to be a radio operator. And then fell in line here and started watching this one today. And I the first time I ever watched one of your videos or one of your live streams, I tested the next week and ended up with my general and was just super stoked about it. Yeah, as a kid, my grandmother was a big CB operator, and we would sit in her bedroom at night on a Friday night, and I would talk to people all over the world and thought that was the coolest thing because I had no idea what the skip was, and at 7 or 8 years old, that's what she taught me, and fell back in love with radio, and here I am making contacts left and right. Except I seem to have screwed up my FT8.
All right, okay.
Yes. So my first year out here, I did. That's all I did. Well, I had a fear of the mic, and so FT8 was the way for me to go.
Sure.
And I think I'm 2 years in now. I don't know. I've lost track of time, but there's something going on. I have the FT710 hooked up, and I've got what I think are great cables and everything, but I can see the signals. I can't make the QSOs for some reason. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
You can see the signals on the left side of the screen, that left split screen. You can see the stations calling.
Yes, I can see those guys calling.
And then you double click on them or something, and then what happens?
I do. Yeah, I do. I double click, and then I wait, and I can see on my oh geez, I don't know what the other program is I use, but I can see the signal going out, so like it's making that attempt.
Oh, so you can see your radio. Your radio is transmitting? You can see the signal?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that. It's the 710 does not act the way I have the G90, and the G90, you'll hear the click and you know that it's transmitting. Mm-hmm. I don't have that with the 710 for some reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's just a feature of it or not, but and I've used net time to make sure that we're all happy there. But
so
I
you said
no QSOs.
By the way, let me make sure. Is it Leia? Do you go by Leia, or what do you go by? Lee or Leia?
It's Lee. It's Lee.
Okay. All right. So you're on Windows, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is your time sync application you're using right now?
I use NetTime, and I
that an
downloaded
application?
something else.
So
yes.
The application I recommend you use is called Dimension 4. That's the application I use for time tracking. It is the best app you can get. Dimension 4. D4 is its
okay.
called.
I'll make sure to put that one down.
So now, then follow on to that. Do you ever go portable ham radio, that kind of stuff? And you bring like a little GPS dongle or anything like that? Do you ever do that kind of stuff?
I actually plan on, if I'm awake tomorrow, I plan on going to a local POTA with a couple of the local guys.
Excellent. So the other application I recommend if you are going to go with the Bluetooth GPS dongle is called BT Time Sync. And you can take that little $7 dongle that you can get on Amazon, shove it into the computer, It'll pick up the drivers for it. You run BT time sync. You do have to play around a little bit to align the dongle to the ports to receive the GPS time. But once you do that, it works great. It works perfectly.
Okay, roger that. I can look into that one.
Now, if you'd like, because you have a an actual issue you're dealing with, if you'd like to go download Dimension 4, try and do a time sync, and try doing WSJTX, because you said it worked before and then it stopped working. So I'd rather help you figure it out completely. So if you'd like to go off and try that and then come back and tell us if it worked or it didn't work, let's see if we can fix it for you, if you're willing to do that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be
to
back
be honest
in a
with you,
few then.
Because if honestly, I don't know that an application is going to fix this. It's probably like a setting or something that changed. We're probably also going to have to fix. So go ahead and try the time sync thing, and then come back and let us know if it worked for you. That'd be great.
I will add this. Hi, Lee. I'm Frank. I use an FT710 as well. You will never hear a click on that radio. It will not do any click when it keys up.
Okay, that's for sure good to know. Then I know I didn't screw anything up. And, of course, when I'm over on sideband and I'm talking to my local guys, I know that I didn't fry it when I made the upgrade, not the upgrades, updated the firmware and things like that. So I know I didn't do something terrible to it.
Yeah.
But yes, I will go and download this and come back.
back.
And,
come back. We'll be here.
I do have two quick questions, though, that might be helpful. Are you using the A side of the radio? Because there's the A band and the B band. Are you using the A side is the first question. And the second question, are you on upper sideband -D, USB -D?
A side for sure.
Okay. And then are you on USB-D when you're playing FT8?
Currently, it says just upper sideband. It does not say -D, so I can make that change.
Okay, I would suggest that. Try that out too, because I've found that just USB will not work with FT8 on the 710, but USB-D will.
Okay, I'll try those things and I'll get back to you.
Lee, I'm looking out for you. I'm going to get on WSJTX right now. We'll try and make a contact. Let's do this. All right.
Question?
Go ahead, Lars. Go for it, man.
Okay. New question here. Wife got me an ICOM ID50 for Christmas. I'm assuming you're very familiar with the radio.
ID50. Yes.
Okay. So my question has to do with D-Star. I have a number of D-Star repeaters that I have programmed into the radio. Some of them were the default ones that were on there, and I had a couple extra ones I pulled in. My question is, I'm fairly familiar with how C4FM or Fusion works on the ASU, but when it comes to using D-Star, I'm getting a little confused by it, where I'll pull up a repeater, like say I'll do like by region, and there's a repeater comes up, or reflector, or however you want to call it. In the from section of my radio on the ID50, it'll say the name of the repeater and the frequency and then the call sign. At the top, it says 2 and then CQ, CQ, CQ. I'm a little confused about how this works, because I'm not able to hit any of them, even if they're like really close, and I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong.
Okay. Are you using the pre-programmed software? Like like you go to D-Star Info and download the little file that you put on the SD card that you put in the radio? And you import it into the radio?
Yes.
And then you do a scan, or what are we talking about? Like,
and then I'll press the DV. I think it says DV, man. DV button. Press that, and then I'll do near repeater and near repeater DV, and then it pulls up the closest one, and I'll hit it, and now it says to CQ from, and then the name of the repeater, which has underneath that the frequency, the call sign, and B, because it's I understand that, like it's a 2 meter,
All right, we're going to get in the weeds in a little bit because I'm going to pull up my ID50 to talk about this because, okay, so ID50 in a digital sense is a little bit different. You have to get into the mindset of this, and I'm gonna try and walk through this right now. So let me bring my mic over here. Join me, everybody. Join me. So here's an ID50. Oh, it's like I was just ready to have this conversation. Let's start this bad boy up. Hey, Mike, what's that about? Mike, what's going on there?
Don't even. I'll kill you, Josh.
What is going on here, Mike? What is this? Do you want one of these, Mike? Okay, so
you want to ride from the airport to him?
Yeah, buddy. Here's my pass. This is how I can get to the hotel.
You want to walk to the hotel, buddy?
You know what?
I can pick you up.
I'll bring you multiple of these. I'll bring you multiple of these. You want one of these? I'll print them for you.
Hey, Josh, I can pick you up from the airport if you really.
Tim, you die and go to hell.
All right, so I'm on VHF right now. Nothing complicated. If I go to DR, right, that put this radio into all kinds of craziness. So let's say I really want to talk on this. Oh, it's the HRO repeater. Even, get in here. Go ahead. Get in here. I want the HRO repeater. I want to talk to the local people. I want to talk to where the people are. So I'm going to click on the 2, and then I click the jewel button, and I say local CQ. It changes it to CQ. This is me talking on the local repeater, directly to the local people that are on the local repeater. If I wanted to change that, I'd click it again, and then I could change it to a gateway CQ, your call sign, blah, blah, blah. But what happens often when you're on D-Star is reflectors. So if you click on a reflector, so I've got a couple of options here. So the Ham Radio Crash Course has a reflector, and I think it should be this one. It is. That's the Ham Radio Crash Course reflector. So if I click that, and I say I want to link to this reflector, and I've clicked the, I set it all up, and I click the button, it's not going to work because I'm literally on a little stubby. But that would tell the repeater, hey, Josh, or this, this ham radio call sign wants to link up this repeater to an internet reflector. Some repeaters allow it, a lot don't. It's okay, it doesn't matter. But basically that 2 line, let me go back. This 2 line is basically the whole, it's where your communication's going to go when you're transmitting. So let's take it back. I'll go back to local CQ. So if I'm transmitting on local CQ, it's only the people that are on this repeater that will hear me. If they're talking on reflectors or they're doing a bunch of other stuff, then it doesn't really hit them, if that makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, I got that part.
Okay. So what am I missing? Did I miss something?
No.
Right?
So, all right. So the part I got confused by was I had to register with these. I had to register my call sign to get on D-Star, which I did that because they would, from what I understand, that to access reflectors you have to have that done through some form of registration to get on the D-Star reflectors. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, like a lot of repeaters will, they'll go through that whole process to log in or create a user reference for your D-Star radio. That's true. That is true.
All right. So I did that. But my only question is because like I don't know if I'm just not able to get to the repeater, if it's down, or if the or if I'm just doing something wrong. It's very hard for me to verify because there's not a whole lot of options in my area for D-Star repeaters. I think there's like 3 that are within a 10-mile radius. But it's kind of difficult for me to figure out if I'm doing something wrong, or the repeater can't hear me, or they're just stale. They're not there anymore. So I wasn't sure if there was some other setting that, like, oh, well, you have to do this, otherwise it's not going to work.
Let's walk through this. Oh, my son Edison's here, so hold on. Are you there? Smile. All right. So let me get. I think I can show this quickly. So let me slide over here. I got to go this way. But here's what we're gonna do. All right, so I'm gonna take this radio. I'm gonna take off the lovely. There you go. Edison is now in the driver's seat, and I need this VHF UHF antenna. Here we go. I'll show you what happens when you key up a repeater in your local area. And now that I put this bag together, it's got one of my BNC connectors that I often grab. So I'm gonna.
You're welcome.
Oh, show the Gengar. Absolutely, yeah, show the Gengar. Where did all my connectors go? Who done stole all my connectors? Wait, what's going on here? This is not gonna work.
Go in your to-go bag.
I know, seriously, the bag. Where did all my connectors go?
Probably with the 10mm spanner and the pens.
No, Edison's not taking a drink. Okay, this is where we get. Okay. I need one of these.
An Adaptoid kit. I love it.
All right, so now we're going into here.
Josh is flexing his kit.
You heard all the fire alarms? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, let me show you now that I got the power of extreme RF in my little handheld. So let's get you, tap that in there. All right, spot focus. All right, so I'm going to go into DR. We're already there. I'm going to find a local repeater. So I'm going to say near repeater. Give me just DV. Let's just do DV. Cypress is the closest one. Check this out. Watch what I do here. I'm on CQ. I'm going to tap the PTT. Let's see what happens. He replied. See, I got a reply status. That's how I know I hit it, right? So let's go back into this. I'll go near repeater, DV, search again. I don't even know how Malibu is close to me, but let's try it. Nothing happened because I don't even know how Malibu's considered local. But Anaheim,
magic.
That's HRO. Nope, that's the wrong one. Hold on, do it again. Click the button. There you go. Now Anaheim's locked in. Let's queue it up. So we did get a little bit of a blip. You see the green? Watch. So they are responding. I am hitting that repeater. So that's how you know you're hitting it.
Got it. Okay.
So let's go to the next one. Let's go to Pomona. We're going to go real advanced. This is way far away. Here we go.
Hey, Josh, it's about time to reset that microphone.
Oh, is it crackling?
Pretty RF in it anyway.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second, everybody. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I gotta slide over. Get down. Okay.
This microphone sponsored by Kellogg's.
Right.
So if you're in
I got a question about hotspots.
I've got 3 of them here.
All Stars the only way
Are we
to
back?
go.
We're back.
Yeah,
okay,
we're back. You're good.
We're good. Okay, we sorted that out. Oh, it's your seat now? Okay. So, we got that. I think we got to move on to say hi to our YouTube friends.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
No, does that work? Lars, is that good?
That
That makes sense? Did I not answer the question, or are we close?
You did great, Josh. I'll figure it out. I mean, you answered the question, but I'm still having trouble. But that's my problem, not yours. So I appreciate the time.
Lars, you know how to contact me literally on my phone.
I'm giving you content.
Okay, thank you for giving me content. Thank you.
I'm giving you free content.
I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that.
All right.
Yes.
Jeez. All right.
No,
go,
it's
go
good.
Talk to your
it's
YouTube
good.
friends.
No, I want to answer your question. So if you'd like to,
I know. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll bother you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. All right, Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics, one of our first YouTube friends in the house. How you doing, bud?
Hey, Mick, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good. I wasn't sure how this worked over the pond, but I guess we have enough other listeners here from over the pond. I am currently in Manila visiting family, visiting Mrs. Tectonics.
Did you say you're in Manila?
And, yes, sir, Manila. Where the sun says it's daytime, but my internal body clock says it's nighttime.
What's your family connection to the Philippines? I didn't know that. What's the?
I'm married to it.
Okay. What are you doing? Leave it alone.
There was some question on the podcast about proper pronunciation of words. So pig on a spit is lechon.
Lechon.
And lechon. And there's plenty of exactly. And there's plenty of other words for pork. Like right now, I'm recovering some from some homemade humba. And but anyway, that's not why you called.
Well, no, that's why I called. I would spend all day like talking about the proper pronunciation of Filipino. Stop.
Even better than that is eating it.
Oh, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite foods of all time. No question.
Oh my God. So I'm gonna come back about 10 pounds heavier. But anywho, I'm sitting here. I've currently got queued up. I never leave home. I currently got queued up a video by Mike on a solar generator, and I think one by Don. He's got something about packet, tarpon. I can't even think of the word for it. But anyway, and Adam Savage is going to talk about the Flipper Zero here in a little while.
I watched the video. He had another person, talking about it.
It's cute. It's queued up. But anyway, I want to say hello to everybody. I'm Bill, Kilo Zero Whiskey Hotel Whiskey. Channel name is Ham Radio Tectonics. Working on a kit for an amplifier. I've still got a couple of videos left from that and an activation. It works, does a good job, makes that 705 holler. And I'm going to get out of the way. You guys have a good one. It's good to be here with you.
So, Bill, you sound just as good as you normally sound like whenever you're talking to us, like at any time.
That makes sense, though, right? It's like we
it's
just had
really
a guy from Northern Europe, and Mike's always in here. I don't even know why. I didn't think it would work for me, but I guess they have good internet here at the Airbnb rental.
Yeah.
So,
Bill, what's your Filipino call?
I don't have one. I've been working on that,
Bill.
And I even stopped bringing my radios. We went to a place. I was going to do some diving, and I had my RF finder with me. And anybody who's ever been here, most of the officials are the very large, tall military types, and their TSA. he looked at they're the tallest, strongest looking Filipinos you've ever seen in your life. And their TSA, he looks at my RF finder and he goes, "It's a radio." I go, "Oh crap!" In my brain, I said, "No, it's Android." He said, "Radio," and I touched it, and the Android programs popped up. I said, "It's Android," and he handed it back to me. But he was like, "So without a license, you're not allowed to possess a transmitter over here, let alone use one." And I wasn't. Yeah, you're not even allowed to possess it. So
can't go to the Philippines,
there are ways of. Not with your radio, dude. I leave them all at home now. I used to bring them and operate, but I wasn't going to get busted far from home by the police types. But I'm working on it. It just takes a little bit, and you got to get a letter from a group that states, that you're a good person, and I haven't found that group that fits the bill.
So
maybe you guys will all write a letter for me.
So a couple questions. Bill, you going to be at Hamcation? You're in the Philippines right now. Are you going to be at Hamcation?
Absolutely.
All right. Second, have you had pancit palabok? Palabok is my favorite.
Yeah.
And then crispy pata. Have you had crispy pata?
No, I'm going to tell Grace
crispy
right
pata.
now. I want
crispy
to have.
Pata
I want crispy pata.
Crispy pata is so good.
Can you make crispy pata? He says only spring rolls. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Okay.
But I'll find a place to try Kursi Pata.
There you go.
I'm going to get out of the way and let the other important YouTubers
That's
talk.
awesome, Bill. Thanks for joining us all the way from the Philippines. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
That's super cool.
What a show off.
Yeah, he's showing off big time. All right, who's next? Let's see. It is Boondock Echo Mark is at the top? How did that happen?
Did I hear Boondock Echo?
I heard Boondock Echo. I just paid
Did he change his name?
He did. He did. Hi, Josh.
How you doing, man? What's going on?
Good. Well, we're at the other side of the big pushes, right? 2 big pushes over the holidays. The one to get it out to Daytona, it made it. They're doing the test laps, going around the drivers and all of that. But it's out there now, and it's up and working and providing valuable feedback and situational awareness for one of the teams out there. It worked.
Nice.
It was really close not to, but it worked. So that's going to be a huge win for us. It'll be a consistent client and, hopefully recurring revenue. We are still working on kits for everybody so they can build their own at pretty cheap costs, actually.
Okay.
So we're working on that for you guys. Because really we want to get our money from businesses, not hams. We want you guys to just have it and use it and have fun. We've got a new user interface. I posted a link, picture of it a little bit earlier, but I can post that again for you. Let me see if it's still queued up in my... So we've been testing out an IRC-style user interface. We learned how to control the unit in scanners so we can pull them when there's audio and know what frequency you're listening to, so that once we roll that out, that'll be pretty big for our scanner people. It's just trying to keep the team going with too few hours and no money. You know how it goes, but we're going to get there.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And then other than that, we survived the fires, a lot of community meetings. I spent some time at the fire department moving a mouse around for them. And things are good.
Nice. Very good.
Hey, quick question for you, though.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Months ago, you got a promotion at work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right?
I got a different job. I didn't get necessarily promoted.
Have they given you more money for it yet?
Yeah, I guess in a certain sense. It led to more headaches, but sure. Okay.
All right. Well,
enough to make me consider going full time. Let me just say that on YouTube.
Fair enough, buddy. Fair enough. So, anyways, yeah, nice talking to everybody. Thank you for all your support through all of this. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, man. By the way, huge shout out. Somebody dropped the spiciest comment, Diningwan. So, one of my favorite situations of my entire life as a white dude, just the biggest white guy. If someone could qualify as white, it is me. Walked into a Filipino market, like a restaurant in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and it was a Toro place, which is point. It's basically where you like, there's like all these trays that you can say like, oh, I want this. It's like the combo dish. It's like if you go to Panda Express, that kind of thing, right? And they had diningwan. Diningwan is it's a dish that's based off of blood. It's a blood dish, and I got diningwan, and I think I got something else. And it was a big white guy, and they're like, "You want diningwan?" And I'm like, "Yeah. I want to try it." And it was really good. It was really, really good. It was May's Kitchen. I think it might have been May's Kitchen in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It was really good. But anyway, diningwan. Yes, I've had it. I've ordered it. I like it. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah, to the guy that said with the skull icon, get a drink. I just got a soda.
He did. He got it. Did you try the licorice? Did you try it?
It smelled bad.
Huh? It smelled bad, so you didn't want to try it?
Bad.
Now both kids are here. Try it. You want to try it?
No. Please, no.
Try it. A little bite. I'll eat the rest of it. Okay. Nobody wants to try the salmiak. Here, show them. Show them on the camera. Show them on the camera. Here. No, a little bit lower. A little bit lower. There you go. Look at this. Satanic licorice. Satanic. Little lower. Little lower. There you go.
Do what?
Yeah. Okay, Mike. Look at this right there.
Look at that. What does it taste like? Is it like licorice flavor though?
So, do you know what salmiak is? Have you ever heard of salmiak before?
You said in the beginning of the stream. No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll eat it and then I'll go on camera and tell you what it is.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get my son in here so he can try it. To have the satanic licorice. Slide in here.
Eat it and I'll tell you how
Slide in here. Okay. Here,
I feel this is a ruse.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think of the satanic licorice?
I just don't want to become Christian at the end of this.
Weird. What does it taste? Now get in the camera and tell me what it tastes like.
It tastes weird.
What does it taste like?
Like bitter.
Like bitter? Okay.
I just don't want to become.
Okay, so this is.
Get in the camera and tell me what you.
Sounds like black licorice.
So it is it's black. Okay, in Finland, there's something called salmiak. Salmiak is salted black licorice, to the point that the salt that they use is like ammonium nitrate or something along those lines. It is super salty.
So they do it with shark, and they do it with licorice.
Yeah.
Neither of which tastes good.
Yeah. Oh no, I love it.
That's all you.
I love it. I love it.
Do us a favor. Just when we get snacks at like Hamcation, that's not going to be it.
I'll bring it. I'll bring the satanic salted.
No, don't save yourself the time.
They're so good.
To be fair, we're going to be using I'm picking up in my dad's car. I don't want my dad's car to smell like that. Or do I know? I guess.
And don't forget I've got a rental, Josh.
Don't trust his dad. Don't trust his dad.
It's terrible.
It's really good.
Absolutely terrible.
I love it. I love that.
Absolutely terrible.
Guys, this stream is over. We have.
It's ammonium chloride. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Salmiak is the mineral. Yes, I love that. Thank you for the fact check. Salmiak is the mineral and type of candy that contains ammonium chloride. I was incorrect. Thank you for correcting me. I love salmiak. Salmiak is amazing. Right,
ammonium
everybody
chloride.
Go. Everybody go. I'm going to finish up the live stream in a little bit, but I got to talk to one of my friends first.
Right now.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Isn't time you use that to clean bumpers?
We need you out there to watch.
I know. Go ahead. Go back inside. Go back inside. No, it's not anise. It does not taste like anise. I mean, other than that it's black licorice. But the ammonium chloride is so good. It's like for everybody who has cilantro that thinks it tastes like soap, you are too weak to even touch this stuff. Like you can't even touch a tip of it to your tongue. It will murder you. You will immediately die.
Oh, that's why it tastes weird. Oh,
it's like Sour Patch Kids for grown-ups. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Actually, yes. Actually, yes.
Yeah, actually.
No.
All right. Go inside.
You all will die.
I will be in a little bit.
Mike, you can blame K Booty for that one.
Don't even mess with my Sour Patch Kids. I'll kill you.
By the way, big fan. I'm not even saying I eat Sour Patch all the time. Okay.
Sure you do.
This one's not going away, so we got to continue with this. I'm going to continue on because I got to get out of here shortly because apparently we do have movies to go watch. So let me go back here. Yeah, go ahead.
Hang on.
Yes.
Was it my time as a YouTuber? I'm going to keep it
really
quick.
Not yet.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Well, it might be. You might be next.
No, Dawn's next.
Oh, Dawn is next. Dawn, N5SKT, are you there?
I'll yield to Mike if he's about to fall asleep.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hey, mine will be short too. I dropped a video just before your live stream that was going through setting up the N76, the Vero N76 as a TNC client to the Tarpon TNC that I built. In fact, I built mine before Jim or TO did. But anyway, I built that, and I've got it working with the 150 RASP and I'm running Lin BPQ on Linux as the packet BBS. And so I'm I was able to get the Vero in KISS mode to talk to the Tarpon
Sour Patch Kids.
as a client. So I did a video on that to just show it working. I got most of the ideas on how to set this up from TO and from the modern ham. So, but I just kind of put it all together, and it works great. And man, that Vero, I can't imagine, like, if you can get this thing for, well, I can't remember what it was, $170 or something like that, and it does all these things that it seems like the only other radio I think that does that is the D75, which is a hell of a lot more expensive. But I just, the more I use that radio, the more impressed I am with it. Anyway, that's really all I've got this week.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
It's Lee again.
Hey.
And that worked.
It did?
That worked. Oh, yeah, that worked. Mexico.
What?
Which part worked? Because we gave you a few things.
I think it was the timing issue. Yeah, I think it was timing, because every time I changed the radio to USB D, it would automatically change back. And so I thought, for giggles, I'll stop everything, tune the antenna again, run the tuner. And so I did that. And to be fair, there's some really crappy weather happening right here in my area. So, yeah, but I think it was the time that seemed to do it.
Good.
Oh, very nice.
That's excellent.
So now I can go to bed.
Good job. Good job.
Well, Lee, I will say this. Apparently, you are being seen on PSK Reporter and by a few others in the call roster. So definitely sounds like you got things worked out well.
That's awesome. I really appreciate all of you. I may not speak to any of you, but I watch all the YouTubes I can, and
thank you.
I just keep collecting a bunch of things because apparently I want to do all of the things.
Well, we want to work you on the radio.
Well, I'm going to do my best to make that happen. I got a promotion at work recently, and I will be doing a lot more traveling than I'd planned on with this job. So,
nice.
It is what it is. And unfortunately, because of the work that I do, I can't take a radio with me all the time.
Oh, no. Why?
So,
why not?
Let's just say I work for the government, and I can't always take my radios to places I go work.
I work for the government, and I still take the radios.
Okay, taking it might be one thing. Using it while I'm working, definitely not a thing for me.
Okay, all right.
And Lee, I agree. So there's Kim K6YYL in the YouTube chat. She says, and I agree, you have earned your sleep tonight. Have a good rest.
You did it. That's awesome. Love to hear that.
Thanks so much. Have a great night, all of you. And 7 threes to every one of you.
73.
73.
All right, my kid wants to show there's. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There you go. Open it up. Go ahead. Show them that you know how to open it. You don't know how to open it. No, you're trying too hard. There you go. Oh, the bits. All them bits. $40 at Harbor Freight. Get your 20% off coupon, and then you can have the bit driver set. But all right, there you go. All right, next. Let's go to our next friend on the who's next? Oh, I lost it.
I'll help you, Josh.
Oh, it's you. It's you. Yeah, go ahead.
It's me.
Go ahead, Frank.
Not too much going on. Still trying to get this one video. You think I could get one video edited in 2 weeks? Apparently not. It's been something for sure. So hopefully this coming week I'll have a video out. As I mentioned earlier, while you were out AFK, if we shall. I had a POTA activation today, and I was up on 14.342, and somebody decided to try and jam me out with SSTV. Talk about a random. Yeah, I was talking. I was making contact, and I'm like, "Do you happen to hear that noise that's going on?" And I couldn't. Usually, I can tell it's SSTV, because it's a very unique sound, right? I couldn't even tell. It just sounded like over the horizon radar or something like that going across. And I'm like, can you hear this QRM? And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's SSTV going on." I'm like, "Oh, okay." That was a new one for me because I'd never heard that form of SSTV before, let alone that high in the band. I was up at 14.342, and they were it was very obvious that they were trying to QRM me, and it didn't work because I got across no problem. It was a struggle to get a few of the guys, but I got them. Got a couple of the YouTube guys that are usually in the chat. Ron and Jeff. Call sign space on me now, but Ron and Jeff are usually in a lot of the chats, and I got them towards the end of my activation tonight. And for those that don't remember, this weekend, as of 5.5 hours ago now, is Support Your Parks weekend. Get out and activate and hunt those activators. It's till UTC tomorrow night, so go get out and hunt them.
Yeah, but just like Mike said, it's also NAQP.
Yeah, but you can, if you're out in the POTA park, just hunt all the NAQP stations, and if you happen to have a chance, get on 12 and 17 and activate the work bands, or go up to 6 meters or 10 meters. I didn't hear anybody on 10, and N8YO's right. It's also the VHF contest this weekend, so go have fun on VHF for POTA if you're in a VHF rich area. With that, Josh, let's send it over to Tim over at Green Man POTA.
Yeah, I'm having a full teardown of my whole SDR suite here. So, Gray Man, help us out. Take it away. What have you been up to, man?
I have like Frank, I've been trying to get some videos put together and keep running into stumbling blocks. So I don't know. So I went and did POTA this morning. And worked, 10 meters was wide open, and worked a bunch of stations in the Hungarian DX contest this morning.
Nice.
From my ATOS 120 on the side of my truck in the park, logging them all as POTA contacts. So that's been my busy day. Looking forward to.
Good for you, man.
Hamcation. I was like, and this is powered by K.
You gotta go.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Jesus.
Well, since Josh seems distracted by his...
I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to move it down the list for you.
I thought Gray Man was going to go for a little bit longer than that. I was getting the kids ushered out of the room.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Gosh,
no,
man.
You're good.
I'll do better next time, Josh.
No, you're good. You're fine. You're fine. All right.
YouTube harder, Tim.
Next is Adam. K6ARK. Are you there, man?
I am. I made it through the 405 traffic and just got home about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, but how are you doing? Where were you that you had to go through the 405? What happened?
I was up in Malibu for the day. I suspect that I got up this morning before you went to sleep, if you did the podcast last night. So what time did you get to sleep?
5 a.m.
this morning.
5 a.m.
Oh, man. I was in Malibu by 5 a.m. I got up at 1:45.
We were podcasting. We were podcasting while you were driving.
I should have honked CQ as I was driving through Cerritos on the way up the 5 this morning.
You should have. You should have. You should have.
Oh man. Let's see what's going on. I've got kits in stock on Amazon. 5 watt and 20 watt are
seriously?
I think all still there. Yep. So SMA, BNC male, BNC female, 5 watt and 20 watt kits. So yeah, get them while they're hot. And beyond that, I'm back home now, and I'll be home for the weekend. So that means I have a little bit of free time to do some fun stuff. And I think my goal for the weekend is going to be to get the info posted for the 10-meter Moxon that was in the last video that I posted with Mark KD7DTS, and get that posted up on printables with some STLs and instructions on how to build that 10-meter Moxon. So look for that. I'm hoping to have that up maybe tomorrow, if not on Monday.
Nice. Well, I'm looking at your whole Amazon page right now. Let's pull it up. Oh, your page has been molested by all kinds of weird radio traffic, right? On Amazon.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, when I click on like K6ARK, I'll get like random shortwave radios and a bunch of other stuff. Like Amazon's trying to bring other people to, other stuff that you make out there. It's not necessarily you, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're. I wouldn't be surprised if people, if my call sign is getting associated with other stuff, either through Amazon search engine, or who knows, maybe people are putting my call sign in their meta tags or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be that somebody buys something.
What's happening?
Sorry, it could be somebody. Go ahead. Never mind.
No, I was gonna. I think I know what you're gonna say. And somebody's buying something along with one of my kits or looking at stuff. Who are the people who are looking at my kits are also looking at these other things, and therefore Amazon is pushing them to the same potential buyers.
Yeah.
Right. And just like with K at MRD, when you go to his page and they send you off to look at bidets.
Oh yeah, that's right. Travel bidets, though. It's for the jet setting community. Right, Mike?
It should be.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Yeah, very good. I have one. It's great. I have no frustrations about the ham radio tube bidet.
Is it a 12
nice
bidet?
I'm not even gonna go there.
But at any rate, thank you all for keeping me company on the drive home and helping keep me awake. So,
well, good. I'm glad you made it to your final destination. Well, thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Well, if Adam is done, I think the next person is probably one Mike K8MRD ham radio 2.
I'll kill you.
You kill me? Why? I'm your biggest fan.
I don't want to.
I'm your biggest fan. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm your biggest fan. Funny how it works. So I have
mutual
two things
respect,
to talk about.
Man.
I got
Let's
notes.
go.
I got notes.
Okay.
All right.
I like it.
So from your podcast tonight, is that what the kids call it? The video tonight.
Yeah, it's a live stream. Let's just call it. We could call it a VOD now. We could call it a VOD in the parlance of the youngers. This is a VOD now.
Is that video on demand?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah.
So I was like, I got like my inner monitors, and I can hear everybody. I walk wirelessly throughout my house.
Yep.
During your is it a YouTube podcast? I don't know what the kids are doing.
No, it's not a podcast. It's not a podcast.
No,
I'm by the way, God damn it.
I'm being stupid. No,
you're not. You're not.
This is all shtick.
You're not, because the youngers now have taken the podcast to mean that it's a live stream where we just have like 1,000 cameras and we record it and we call it a podcast.
Can the California guy and you just not for a minute?
But a podcast used to be
just not
for a second.
Can you just not
for a second?
Can you just not?
One
can
second.
You just not?
1 second.
Can you just not?
I could.
Can you just not?
Maybe I could. But a podcast used to be just like you recorded an audio track and it got uploaded and then you downloaded it and that was the podcast. That was it. Like it was just audio. That's all I do. That's all our podcast is. It's audio.
This
That's
is
it.
so off the wall.
Okay, there you go. Mike, go ahead. Take it.
Question that I want to ask.
Okay, please continue.
This
Please.
is
Sorry.
great.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
From the podcast, God damn it. I didn't mean to say podcast. Your YouTube video today, we're trying to put stuff in a bag.
Cram it all in a bag.
Yeah. At some point, and I specifically remember this because I have in-ear wireless monitors and I walk about my house.
Yeah.
Somebody said something about cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have money.
Cash money.
Cash money.
And that's what resonated with me. So I've been waiting here. So I learned this from Jason, KM4ACK.
Okay. I like it.
So everybody take out your cell phone. Just take out your cell phone, hold it up in your hand.
Hold it up. I got
right?
it. I got it.
Like, is your cell phone in a case?
Yes.
Is your case transparent or is it opaque?
Mainly transparent.
Okay. So don't have a transparent cell phone case.
Why?
I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max Plus Mega Gigalopolis Apple.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Me too.
You know what fits in between your non-transparent cell phone case and your cell phone? Cash. So Jason, literally, we're
interesting.
in Huntsville, Alabama, and Jason, KM4ACK, and I are sitting next to each other, and he pulls out his cell phone and he just shows me this
Got
cool,
it. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, ACK.
ACK.
Yeah. And he's like, so if you have a case around your cell phone, you can fold a dollar bill or a $2 bill or a $5 bill, $100 bill, whatever it is. Just keep a stash. So like, I'll tell you, in my cell phone case, there's a $100 bill folded up.
Okay.
Just in my cell phone case. You forget about it, whether it's a $100 bill, a $20 bill, a $50 bill, it doesn't matter. Just put some cash
in the phone.
A fold of cash between your cell phone and your cell phone case. Like nobody's ever going to look for that. Like they'll pickpocket your wallet, you know what I mean? They might get your phone. Never mind that. If you're just in a situation where you don't have cash in your wallet, you can all of a sudden be like, you know what, some bitch, I got a $100 bill underneath my cell phone case.
Leave me alone. Here's the $100.
Well, it's not so much leave me alone. It's emergency. It's an emergency stash. 100%. It's an emergency stash. I have a $100 bill in my cell phone case right now.
Yeah.
Mike, everyone wants to borrow your phone. Mark does. Jody does. I do.
That's bullshit because it's an iPhone.
Hey, I'm an iPhone guy. Don't
Shenanigans on half of them. The other half won't even know how to take the cell phone case off of it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. The
other thing.
I did it. Mike. I got Abraham Lincoln. I got Abraham Lincoln now in my MagSafe. What do I do?
You're an idiot.
And Mike, I don't.
You know what you do? You keep it right there. Actually, Josh.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like if you need cash and you don't have it, like that's. You take the $100 bill or the $20 bill or whatever you're comfortable with, and you put it in your cell.
It's
you put
$5.
it back to your cell phone.
It's $5.
Doesn't matter.
Good.
Now
Okay.
you have cash on hand.
Yes.
In like this $100 bill that's in my cell phone case has been there for 3 years.
Okay.
You forget about it. You don't look at it in your bank
Forget
account.
about
it's
it.
just cash. And you forget
about it.
It's just It's just $100 bill that you might could find. So the other thing so that's all I wanted to add. That's on my list.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and check that off. The other thing, though, which I don't feel we got good clarification on, is this ID50 clip with the belt and the circle thing.
Mm-hmm. Where do you want to go here? Where do you want to go?
So where I want to go here right now is in Huntsville, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 6 months ago, I had a conversation with Ray Novak about the ID50 and a round circular Yaesu style camping. Let me just hang my HT where I want to hang my HT adapter and belt clip.
Yeah.
I had a literal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel it was brushed off. But now here you are with this.
It has no involvement with ICOM.
I'm not saying it does.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you and I came up with the same idea at different times, but you implemented it. And now I need that.
No, there is a ham who has made this, who took what we all loved about the VX6, the Yaesu
7R.
VX6,
7R.
VX7R, sure.
7R.
So the Yaesu, I think arguably Yaesu figured it out with the little clip you put on anything.
It so much. I
hated
it so much.
You hated it, and then you
I
started using it. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I was the same. Totally same page. It's a little stupid clip, like janitor level clip that you put on your belt or the backpack or whatever, and you throw the HT on it. And it only breaks loose if you turn it 160 degrees, upside down kind of thing, and then it comes loose. So a ham went, what if we just model this and we just adapted it for all the other radios? So I have the STL for the ICOMs. I have it for the Kenwoods. I have it for any basic radio that I can just print out.
What are you using the clip for? Or so you have the part that attaches to the radio.
Yeah.
You gotta have like the Yaesu VX7R other part, or how does that? How does the other part work?
The clip. Yeah, you got to get the clip.
All right.
The clippy bit. I'll get it. You want to get it?
Yeah, just buy it. I'll pay you.
No, you don't, no. I mean, just like I mean, I'll go get it from the ham shack. The other.
Well, no,
the secondary
what I'm
ham
saying
shack.
is what I'm saying is with.
Wait,
this
you don't have the clip? You don't know what I'm
modification-
talking about? Okay, I'm gonna pull up the. Okay, let me.
All right.
Let me pull it up. Here's what we're talking about.
Mike, you and I both want it now. Trust me.
The clip for the ID50 isn't going to work with this. You have to have a Yaesu clip, right?
Yes, you got to get the Yaesu clip.
Yeah.
All right. So let me show you what's going on here. So here is the Yaesu clip. It is the dumbest, simplest thing of all time. It is a circle, right? It's literally
It's the smartest thing Yaesu's ever done. Don't short him on that.
Okay. So you drop the radio. Okay, thank you. So the radio has a circle fitting that goes into this little slot, and there's a little notch that when you flip it upside down 180 degrees, the radio will come free. That's the whole point of this. It is $10. That is the clip. It's $10, and they'll clip into just about. Well, hold on. Let me get rid of product support here. The VX6R, the VX5R, the VX17. I don't even have that. VX177, the VXA300, the VXA710. Most of those radios we don't have. This clip is one of the best things that Yaesu ever made. This is a amazing little piece of kit. And so you can just modify it. The clip, you buy the clip, and then you just get the little 3D print, and then boom, you socket your radio into it, and you're done. All set. I don't have the link for the STL where I'm at right now. Otherwise, I would. Sorry, Ham Radio Tectonics. I apologize. I don't have it. I will. Maybe I'll drop it tomorrow. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. You heard what I'm saying, Mike?
Yes. I got it. I have that, and I will have the circular ball for the ID50.
We got to get the clip.
I have that. I got the VX7R. I have the clip.
You have the clip?
Yeah.
So if I print you the thing for the ICOM, you can just put it on the clip. You'll be all good.
100%.
Okay. Then I will print you the clippy bit. Do you mind if it's in gold?
I mean, like, if you want to be a dick about it, I guess. Okay. But, like, black is good. My VX7R is silver, and my my ID50 is black. Just black is good.
I need
whatever you want to do. I don't care.
I'll shoot it in PET G, but I don't have like a black PET G. I'll take the darkest color of PET G I have, and that's what I'll do.
Well, PET G doesn't seem to be very strong from what people said earlier.
It's better than PLA.
No, don't use PLA. Just print it in whatever version of stuff you did for your own.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go with Jody on this one. Glitter, but hot pink glitter.
I don't have that. I can't even imagine what I would do with a spool of hot pink glitter.
Oh, I know who would do it. Steve, KO4AFL. He has a pink.
All right.
I feel like we could crowdfund some pink PLA.
I don't
do it in PLA.
Don't do it in PLA. We're not doing PLA. That's not robust. All right, well, we got the end of all of the YouTubers. So is there anyone left who didn't ask a question, wanted to say hi, or ask their question? Come now, please. You waited this long. You can't hold back at this point. It's your last chance, because I'm going to end the show. When you come back.
Hey, Josh, I threw it in the chat earlier, but
yeah, buddy.
I found that book earlier, Practical Radio Frequency Test and Measurement. So if anybody's interested, the ARRL used to actually sell this book, but it's available on Amazon now.
Where'd you throw it?
I'll throw a picture of it in the chat.
Where'd you throw it?
Throw a link to it in the chat.
I don't see it. I don't see the link. Where'd you throw it, man? Hashtag live-stream. Throw that hotness in there.
Let me find the Amazon link.
Well, he's doing that. I actually have a fun question, Josh. It's a, what do you think of the radio type thing? The IC 2730 Alpha. What do you think of it?
I don't know what you're talking about. What are we talking about?
It's an ICOM radio. It's a dual band 2 meter 440 radio.
I don't know what that radio is. Okay, let's look it up.
I want your guys' input. Let's put it this way.
Thank you so much for calling me out on the floor here. An IC what?
2730 Alpha.
Comment.
Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Okay. Of course. I love this radio. I have it in my shack. It was the Alpha that screwed me up. What do you want to know? Like, where are we going?
Decent radio, good purchase.
Oh, yeah.
Put it this way. Someone went to HRO today and picked one up, and instead of going the Yaesu route, they went with the 2730A, and I wanted to get some input on it because I've never dealt with it.
Oh, it's great radio. Yeah, dual channel, full duplex, actually, dual channel. And they have the dark model that you can get. It's coming soon. Yeah, with the reverse black screen. I love this radio. You can do duplex repeat if you want to do that. You can do... Doesn't really matter. Like, it'll do pretty much anything you want to do with a VHF, UHF transmitter. It's a great radio. Sounds really good.
Okay,
got a ton of good feedback. Actually, I was I was hanging out on 146.580 here in Southern California, and some people started making a net, and I logged in before I went live, met a new person, made a contact, and then I met a YouTuber on Simplex on 146.580, K6YYL. She came back
Kim.
and said, yeah, Kim, who I talked to on Simplex, said, hey, I'm doing a live stream right now on 6 meters. See if you can actually transmit into my frequency. So we completed our Simplex contact, logged that thing. Then I turned my antenna around, got into her receiving station, made a contact with her on her live stream, logged that. This was 20 minutes before I went live on the live stream. That's what I did. That was what I was doing. It's awesome.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Let's put it this way. The guy that Sean KO6BJL, we've talked long enough about him and everything. Yeah, he went back to HRO today. He picked up the IC2730, the mobile mounting bracket, a Comet, the SBB5. I know you've done a review or two on that one, right?
Sure.
Pulse Larson NMO mag mount. He got the IC705. The programming cables, and a Chameleon, the Left's 8010.
Nice.
So he had a nice little fun trip to the candy store today.
Very cool.
And since I hadn't known what the 2730A was about, I figured I'd ask you out of everybody.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm very familiar. But I guess I didn't catch what you were throwing down there, so okay.
That's all I have.
That's Rob, Digital Rancher's go-to satellite radio.
Yeah. That's what he uses. All right, anybody else out there? Open questions for anyone, anywhere. Let's take them right now because I'm going to wrap up here shortly because I got to go. I think my kids are still awake, so I got to go take care of their business right now. Anyone, anywhere. Question, go. I'll just go to bed. I'll do it. Don't tempt me.
When are you flying into Orlando?
Thursday.
Cool. I'll be there pretty much very late Wednesday night.
Sonic Gott says, your chat answered my question rather well. Well, thank you. Well, I thank you on behalf of the chat. The chat got you sorted out. Go ahead. Anybody else? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to throw out I'm flying in Wednesday morning into Tampa, so I'll be driving over.
I'm going to bring a huge boombox Bluetooth speaker, and I'm just going to be blasting Captain Jack Sparrow on our entire ride up. Mike knows what I'm talking about. We will be.
Can you imagine that, dude? If we got a Jeep and just one of us is just standing up in the Jeep with a speaker.
Say anything level boombox.
Yeah. Which is Captain Jack Sparrow out of the boombox. That's us, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Love you, man.
Yeah. Love you too, man. Yeah. Dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Oh boy.
Well, I don't know where we go from here. Where do we go from here? How do we make ham radio better?
We all go out and POTA tomorrow.
I got a ton of antenna things to do. My wife is my wife has gotten really in deep on antennas. We have a business thing we're trying to do. And she's like, you have to go do the study. You have to go do the science on this stuff because I can't do it. And so then I get to go do sciencey things and make a video about doing the sciencey things. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. assuming that Amazon shows up like when I expect it to.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. POTA sounds infinitely better. I'm going to be doing some POTA tomorrow as well. I actually have the railroad. Josh, you won't believe this. The railroad gave me some time off.
How does that work? So help us out, Frank.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. So the railroad, right? Like we all know it. Like it's a thing. We are all like hugely obligated to it. Like it helps us out, bringing all the things to and from.
I would hope so.
I mean, I'd like to think that people know that already with the comment. Go ahead with the comment.
Frank, got a question for Frank. What is your position, Frank? Because somebody was asking the other day, and nobody knew whether you were a driver or a conductor.
That was over on Car on Thursday night. I'm a conductor. I'm not an engineer, unfortunately. I'm a conductor, and I think I know where Josh is going with the timing of things. So, ideally, what we're supposed to get is 12 hours on duty, 12 hours off duty. And we're supposed to do that for a 9-2 split. So 9 days on, 2 days off, 48 hours. Well, I'm currently on my 48 hours, but I've been given extra time off because I'm currently way down on the call board, if you will. The call board ranks in seniority from, the oldest. The newest guy gets the first and dirtiest jobs, and then the rest of us further down the line. Well, I'm far enough down that right now I'm probably going to be back to work Sunday night instead of tonight. But that could change between now and tomorrow morning. All depends upon who marks up, which means who says, yeah, I'm going to go to work, or who marks off going, nope, I got XYZ going on, or I haven't gotten my federal rest in. And then those of us below them get bumped up or moved up higher in the list of people to get to. It's complicated, but it's easy once you get the hang of it.
All right.
So it gives me some extra time to go out and POTA tomorrow. Jody, yes, absolutely.
Where's Gray Man? Gray Man asked that question. We answered it?
That?
We're good?
What did I ask?
Who asked the question?
It was Mike.
Which Mike? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're all good.
Jesus.
Oh, that Mike. Sorry. Yeah.
That Mike.
Yeah.
Frank, I was just hoping when you said that you got some extra time off that it did not come in the form of a disciplinary action or.
Oh, no. Okay. Tim, you would know if that happened. I would be blowing up our Discord. Trust me, you would know if that happened.
A railroad fire.
Quick question, if there's still time.
Go ahead, please.
Hi, KB0STG from Utah. And in 2 weeks, I will be traveling to Romania. Unfortunately, I will be flying back during Hamcation, so I'm not going to be in Orlando. Okay. But immediately after, I will be going to my local club and presenting my adventures on this trip. My question to you guys is, with flight rules and batteries, I'm planning on taking a 705 and my ID 52. And my big question is that if I wanted to pick up a BioNO now so I could get it before the trip, is it just easier if I stay under 100 watt hours, or should I try to talk to Air France and KLM and see if I can get permission for 160?
What radio are you taking?
An IC 705.
And what batteries do you have right now?
Way too big to be taken on flights.
Isn't 160 the FAA limit for watt hours? It's like a 12 amp hour battery for LiFePo 4, but
it's like 9 amp hour.
No, it's 12.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I remember 120 for some reason.
160 is
Look
the
it
limit
up.
in the U.S. Delta has no problem with it, but the European carriers cut you down to 100.
Where are
unless
you
get
flying to?
Romania.
I flew into Italy last year in November, and well, it was, let's call it 14 months ago, and I carried shit. Now you got me thinking. It's 160 something. Yeah. Like, you're good. Like, don't fret it, dude. Like, I got stopped by all of them because of all the wires in my bags for like being like a YouTuber and recording and stuff. They don't give a shit about batteries. I would not fret batteries.
Okay.
Traveling international.
That was the only other thing I had a question on, because I've already gone to ANCOM, which is the Romanian version of the FCC, and I have an email that says I have permission to operate with a YO prefix. I'm good. So
yeah, don't fret it.
I would still
I've
go
always
with like
traveled. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, sorry. I would go with like the bare minimum you need though. I wouldn't bring like your good batteries out to Romania. Like I would go light if you can, right? Like pack light.
yeah, I was thinking about just grabbing like a brand new, like a 6 amp hour Bioeno for this trip, and then just use that as a photo backup later on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I brought my Denko to Italy.
Did you really?
That's what I used.
That's
I'm
awesome.
pretty sure. I would have to look back at the footage, but yeah, just like a tiny bit, like QRP. Like, you're going overseas, like you're going over continents. How much stuff are you really trying to bring? It's ham radio, like, you know, like a 6 amp hour battery, LiFePo 4, lithium iron phosphate. LiPo, that's a whole different story, but lithium iron phosphate, like, dude, my batteries look like legit a bomb, and they don't care. Batteries are the least of your concerns when traveling abroad.
No problem. Like I said, I've already got the rest of my documentation in a zipper, got my passport, freshly printed. First time traveling outside of the country. So
nice.
I appreciate the thoughts, guys. Thank you very much. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear some POTA activations. There's apparently 2 parks that are going to be within a half mile of my hotel. So.
Well, good luck,
man.
Good luck out there.
When I traveled to Italy, that was my first time out of the country other than like Canada or the Bahamas. So yeah, no problems at all. You should be good.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, well, guys, I gotta pack things up here, so we gotta make this quick. Is there anyone in the Discord that we didn't hear from you? First timers with a question. It's your last chance, because I'm going to go here shortly. Come now. We got him. Got all of them. All right. So I gotta pack things up here. We already went. We went an hour extra than we normally did. On the heels of the podcast, when I went to sleep at 5 a.m., and we're still killing it out there. Why are we killing it? Because ham radio is awesome. And I commit a ton of my life to say that ham radio is freaking sweet, and I want you all to enjoy it and have fun with it. And really get to the point that you can have fun with it. That's the thing. I really, if you boil this all down, I think there's a lot of like stuff that people get trapped with, and they don't know how to figure out, like, how do I break forward into actually using radios. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help you get on the air. That's the whole point. And we did that. I think we did that to a large degree tonight, and I thank everybody on the Discord. I thank everybody who takes the time. Frank, Mike, Adam, the other Mike, Dawn, like, and on. Radio Tectonics, like, and Tim, Gray Man Poda. It goes on and on and on and on. Every week, those people come out here to try and help people get on the air. I cannot tell you. Think of a hobby. Think of a hobby you have where people will stop what they're doing, set aside a moment, hours, if you will, and then talk with you directly. Think of that. How many times does that exist? None that I know of. None. So these guys are the best. I thoroughly thank them and everybody on Discord for taking the time, doing what they do, making their videos, which are great. You should all subscribe to them. Please take the time to do that. But, man, I now have to go figure out what my kids are burning down or doing in our house. So I got to go. So thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you. 73 on the Discord. Thank you.
Josh, I will leave it with this. Andy Callie said it the best. We are a family. Thanks for everything you do as well.
You know, Dom said it best. I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know how I worked.
It's the wrong tone.
Yes, sir.
73, Josh.
All right. Cheers on the wine that I've been drinking all night. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody on the Discord. Take it easy. I will talk to you later. 73. Man. All right. I'm waiting for the kids to break in right now. Now that the Discord's gone, I'll just talk to you directly. So, my oldest son was talking to me, and he was like, I'm about to age out of Cub Scouts. I'm about to be a scout, like a Boy Scout. I know we can't say that anymore, but he's about to be a scout. He's like, I really want to kill. Like, I want to win at the Pinewood Derby. And so we pulled up the YouTube videos. We did all the things. I bought. I don't want to show behind this, but literally behind me is a bandsaw. I bought a bandsaw. I went full insane Pinewood Derby. I now have the skills to completely obliterate anybody on Pinewood Derby. And I made a car with my son, my oldest son. And I was talking to him through this, you know, of course, I ran the bandsaw and did all the drilling and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But got this thing done. It was like Icarus flying too high. It got too close to the kinetic energy point that we couldn't keep it on the track. Just insane. We dropped the first car, his first run, immediately got 100%, like the fastest track time. On the track, his car, fastest track time. But they have to do it on all 4 lanes. And on the last lane, he Tokyo drifted it to do a Fast and Furious reference. Tokyo drifted it. Couldn't complete the run. Knocked him out. So his whole average is gone. Fastest car on the entire grouping. Edison's car ended up getting second because it was just consistent. It just laid down consistent, fast times, killed it. He got second trophy. His car, Ben's car, was so fast. It was insanely fast. It was fast to the point, like, so everybody, like, I don't know how to explain this. I would show the video, but there's kids that I don't know that are in the video, so I won't do that. But so the Pinewood Derby track starts up high and it comes down. It gets to a very steep transition and then it goes flat, almost like straight flat. So at the top, all the weight on his car is way up high. And so he starts dropping and all the other cars are faster than him. But then when his car gets to the bottom, it just like turbocharges and just whips out of the bottom. It whipped so fast, and it took the wheel out, and he literally was Tokyo drifting sideways on the whole thing. Oh, killed me, because he's not going to have another Pinewood Derby car. I can't get him to win. We spent all that time. Pisses me off. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go to bed. Well, actually, I'm going to go hang out with the family and then maybe watch a movie. But this is me ranting right now. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me out. I appreciate it. 73, everybody. I appreciate you. And check out this drop, which is the same song I play all the time. Maybe I'll make another one in the future. 73. There isn't a lot of left time. That was his last year. You can't Pinewood Derby anymore. I couldn't give him the win.
Let's play a game. You don't even have a call sign.
It's like Icarus. It's like Icarus. The wings flew too close to the sun. I made the car. I made the weight. It was aggressive. I wanted him to win. I wanted him to be the first. Oh, man. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. If you watch the videos, like, it's crazy. That's true. There are leagues that you can still do Pinewood Derby on. That's true. Adults, kids, whomever. Pinewood Derby is a thing anyone can enjoy at any time. And it's a great hobby. You should check that out. This is the funniest comment. We're gonna do illegal Pinewood Derby races on the street. You know, I might do that. I might have to make that happen.
Out of a twist, step up like a man and give us a call sign. Or beat it. Or beat your panties out of a twist, step up like a man and give us a call sign. Or beat it.
Oh, everybody. You have a great rest of your weekend. I got things to do tomorrow. You do too. So let's get started with it. But please, get a good sleep. Always get a good sleep if you can. 73. We love you. Take it easy. See ya.